Howdy, folks. Welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most. And joining me are my friends, Dan, who's all alone and still just so off-frame.
Somehow.
I'm struggling right now.
Somehow.
I'm struggling too.
Just somewhere.
That's funny.
But Dan is here. You may see him from time to time. We have Kara finally rejoining us. Welcome back from
I'm
Japan.
alive!
Echo made it.
We have Olive, we have Ari, and then Matt will be joining us at some point a little bit further on in our session. But a couple of quick announcements before we get into Starfinder. We have a YouTube at Alberon RPG. You should definitely tune in to our YouTube because we're going to be off next week. We're not going to be playing a live game, but instead we will be airing on YouTube a special two-part adventure on the 24th and 25th in place of our regular games, and that is Humblewood, Heart of Daco. Is that right? Daco. I figured I'd get it eventually. It is a super cute little 5e adaptation. It is a two-part adventure where a whole bunch of people that you see around our table join us. Hannah runs the game. It's an amazing, there's beautiful maps. You should definitely check it out. But it's going to be on YouTube at Alberon RPG. We re-air all of our old sessions, and actually we're closing in on 500 different sessions over on that place. Yeah, it's wild. It's like several consecutive weeks of just gameplay. Yeah. So we also have an Instagram at Alberon RPG where you can see the various things that are on our table. You can see right now.
It's a leek. It's our radish couch.
A gigantic. Oh, I love that.
Leek couch.
Leek.
Love
Yeah,
seat.
you can see some accoutrement on there, I guess. But there are sometimes maps that make a little bit more sense. There are handouts. There are things like that.
When you go to a foreign country, bring back your friends' presents. It delights them.
Yes, delightful presents. Kara brought us all kinds of little goodies. I have this amazing. I probably shouldn't show it on screen, but there's a really.
Game Freak is gonna come for you.
Yeah, no, that makes it sound so much worse though. I'm just saying it like that. But Instagram at Alberon RPG, you can see pictures of the different things that are on our table. What else? Those are the announcements that I have for the moment. We have a lot of cool stuff that's coming up, but it's so much that it's become overwhelming to actually say it. So until we get through October, that's all I'm going to say. There's so much fun stuff that we have in store for you, though. Otherwise, it is time for this week's session of Mosaic Team 5.
Hi, Dan.
Seven of XP to the bed.
Mosaic Team 5. Last we played, you spoke to Hultex, the individual who had accompanied you from the Hollow Husk and to the Pallades Rock assemblage, an individual who is almost entirely cybernetic, where you had just defeated an elite team of Pallades Rock androids guarding the technology within. Hultex thanked you for your help. As they disabled the countermeasures that house the inner sanctum of space, they then connected to the echolocator, so secure that even Shade found it to be a challenge to enter digitally, and copied it, using every system within their being to transmit the huge amounts of data as a burst transmission back to the Liberteca on the Zin crawler. Shade found that the echolocator was now unlocked, and managed to copy its quantum information to one of the unused echo modules that housed valuable components for echo units, their ability matrices. With this, several items, including a teleportation module for armor and other things looted, you rigged the station to blow, And after securing a pair of Pallades Rock hover cards for Echo and a new living room set for yourselves, all themed after root vegetables, you made your way towards the exit.
That was the only thing we accomplished in all session. But, like, shopping.
I tried so hard for it not to be a shopping episode, but you then received communication from Peep asking for you to hurry back. Your new mission had finally come through, and you were teaming up with Mosaic Team 1 themselves, and they were already on their way.
The singular Mosaic Team 1.
Yeah, just one guy. Shade brought you all to, it's just, they have no healer, it's just one guy. Shade brought you all to the Eclipse Mall, and once more, despite my attempts, you created a shopping episode that involved wheeling and dealing at the highest level, which would be Bubs calling Peep and using their down on their luck heartfelt trauma dump to leverage the So Cute mission coordinator into loosening the purse strings for some new armor.
It worked.
Slightly less glamorous dealings from Spice, who did manage to secure some things within the augmentation shop, but did not manage to secure some of the fancier armor that was available.
You know what's crazy now that I realize? So yes, I have the walk through walls augmentation, but also I can just teleport now.
Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff.
Walls augmentation? When did you get that?
You were there.
Focus.
You were there.
I don't
And Shade then called a team meeting. But as Matt will be joining us a little bit late tonight, we'll say that will occur sometime in the future.
We have a scheduled team meeting.
And we will begin as you have begun your drift transit to the Vivarium.
Nice.
Give me just one moment here. It's too calm music.
Hey, it's a good map.
Yeah. So we've long rested
And we leveled up.
and we leveled up. So
Oh, okay.
let me erase everything here.
So all of you are now in the drift. You have transmitted from real space to this space where all around you there are the interstitial clouds that make up the channels of the space. There is iridescent purple-black smoke, and you can see that there is the drift countdown timer, counting down just one day. What would you all like to do with this day before you reach the Vivarium? And Echo, for you, your updates are finished. Printer toner, all that stuff, just ready to go.
So, when Echo was last conscious, Echo's gonna try and figure out what happened, because to their recollection, they just went down in an elevator, and they were having a chat with 70,000. And now they are...
In a lima bean armchair, looking at the blinking Christmas tree.
Didn't Matt
They
move
are
them down?
disconcerted.
Yeah, you are moved. You are in the engineering bay when you wake up.
I specifically remember that.
So apparently there's
Yes.
a lima bean
Yeah,
armchair
there is a
in
very
the
important-
engineering
There's a
bay.
carrot piano or some shit.
Be entertained
There's a
down
carrot set of drawers, and you can pull out all the little ribbed sections of it.
No, that was the corn. The corn on the
corn, that was the
cob.
corn, sorry.
Yeah,
Someone needs to draw
Carrot
this,
drawers.
please.
Anyways,
that's true.
I sent it in the group chat.
for you, Echo, you remember going down on this lift. And you remember walking by all these proto-Echo units, the metal frames of their skeletons and the flash hanging off, but all just allowing you to walk by. And you went down this lift, and down and down and down. And when it opened up, there were other androids there. You may have seen the same kind of Echo unit to you before, but this was your template. This was one that you were based off of. All of the systems basically identical to yours, save the biological components that made up the face. There were other units that were Pallades Rock in origin that were a little bit more magical in nature, a little bit more assault-based in nature, and though you were able to enter this space very quickly, the Echo 70,000 unit, the Echo 80,000 unit, even faster than you, and prior to your group's arrival, they had the ability to teleport at will. They were able to move around you, even the ones that were physically slower, even the magical one that was relatively weak. You did manage to get a shot off on them. But after that, you were knocked out. You were able to see the other Echo unit knocked out. But I would say, make a perception check.
Whoa.
Oh wait, yeah. Don't we still have Echo units
Does Echo...
in our ship?
39.
Does that go up?
When they were knocked out, which way were they facing? Like, did they see the blow coming, or?
No, almost
Okay,
certainly
okay,
not.
that's all I wanted.
With that check, as you were knocked out and as you were being dragged over and you were losing consciousness, in and out, like booting back up and then slowly losing power, you did overhear, maybe not overhear, but you were able to kind of see that on the sort of shipping container that you were being dragged towards, there was a name that was printed kind of on the manifest. The digital display read William the Pleaser.
Property of William the Pleaser.
Correct. And you kind of lost consciousness as you were dragged into this space. With 39, the other Echo unit was thrown in after you, and like right as you go into darkness, it was a very wet thud as they hit. And you imagine they are probably no longer attached to this world.
Oh.
But you come to, and you are not in that space. You are within the engineering bay. You can see there is shade now right next to you, head down. You can see like a digital readout of an update coming through. Probably the same one that you just went through. Although Shade seems to be maybe with the exocortex just a little faster.
Shade's on a different operating system.
They'll probably be here in like 30 minutes.
It's actually
They're
just
more
a different loading
streamlined.
bar. It makes you think it's faster, but it's just going a little.
It goes really fast to 85% and stops.
So
Shade's got a
annoying.
little ball that rolls around.
Yeah.
Echo's got the full loading bar that just resets every.
But you can kind of hear life happening around you. You can hear Squeak kind of barking off and like chewing on a little toy. You can hear the sound of like Gibbs moving things around, making that sound for some reason. You are aboard the Directive Zero. And as you look out towards the kind of window, you can see the drift around you.
Hello.
Little blue light goes on, and you can see the director is in the room digitally, and they say, "Hello, Echo."
When did we get a lima bean chair?
Your team brought the new furniture aboard along with you approximately 25 hours ago.
It seems I have been updating for quite some time.
Yes.
Almost as if I have been half a world away. Director,
Yes, Echo.
is everyone okay?
There's a brief pause, and they say, all members of the team are physically intact.
That is an accurate and detailed description.
Intact.
It's correct. Thank you. And Echo's going to kind of like get up, look around. I see that we are in the drift, as Shade is currently updating. Where are we headed?
Our destination is the Mosaic Vivarium.
I suppose that is all right. And Echo's just gonna kind of like go for the door.
Echo! You're awake!
Oh my
Echo's awake! Everyone! Do you want waffles?
Bubs will walk into the room.
That was the longest
What, you're
nap I've
awake?
ever
What?
seen. You were
Is that
really
because you've been putting
KO'd.
off your updates, or like, is that just a biggie?
There's a lot of voices all at once.
Well, we're all happy you're both alive and done updating.
I was nervous there for a second.
Is it like a lot of like, too much sensory? Do we need to be quiet?
I would prefer if when people talk to me there it took turns. It
No!
Never happened. You know us.
Look at our
There's
furniture!
no way.
Request denied.
Perfect.
I love it.
I was scared something happened to you, Echo. It's just what went back there on Pallades Rock. That was a lot.
I wrote you a poem. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
Great. Dearest Echo, my family, I'm grateful through notes we can speak candidly. While your outside is aluminum, your heart is sweet as cinnamon. Next time you go off to die, Please remember your hug goodbye.
Spice is crying.
You wrote me a note, and it was real sad, but real good. But it would have been real sad if it was the last thing.
Nice.
It was indeed meant to be the last thing.
But it's not.
No, it appears it is not.
I didn't want it to be the last thing.
I am not made of aluminum.
Well, I couldn't think of another word that rhymed with cinnamon.
It was a very nice poem, Gibbs.
Also, cinnamon's not sweet. It's a spice, like me.
Well,
But I love the sentiment, hon.
Yeah, so, I'm glad you're okay and everything's okay. We're headed back to the Verharium. I don't know if you know that.
ooh, and we have these capsules for you. You could, change your flavor of Echo, I guess. One's a which word?
Cinnamon, sugar,
Ooh, and one is
wasabi, apple.
operative.
And everything nice.
Which
got rid
Powerpuff
of the
Girl you
mystic
want to
one.
become?
Echo's going to take the capsules and just kind of inspect them. And also maybe not do this on camera.
Wah, wah.
It's a gift.
Ow! Usually people ask first.
That's the Yosoki fist bump. Sorry.
So
I'm back, baby.
when you hold on to these, you can see these are like crystalline matrices, and it looks almost like there is light moving across them. But what this is data that has been encoded into a three-dimensional object, and so it is immensely dense. This is something that is designed for incredibly quick computing power, and you have one of these inside of you. You've had the misfortune of actually glimpsing it at least once, and not through means in which you are designed to. These typically are used to. It's not what makes you you. It is not like an Echo's soul.
Ooh, let's get philosophical.
Okay.
But there is an element of this that is almost like maybe the temporal lobe of the human brain. This has not memories, but hardwired skills. This is the thing in the Matrix where, like, white room, guns.
This is how I learn other kung fu.
Correct.
Yes. And one is witch warper, and one is operative.
Correct.
We got rid of the mystic one, because, you know.
Because we had to put the echolocator somewhere. Right?
That was Shade's call. But I'm glad he picked it.
Echo like ruminates on what that could possibly mean.
There can only be one mystic.
As a reaction.
Oh, so, what kind of happened was Hultek basically, like, his body kind of, like, turned into a signal or something. It was kind of confusing, honestly. But he left his physical state, with us on the floor of the echolocator in Pallades Rock. But, like, his body was non-responsive. It was, like, it was freaky.
He was dead.
It was a ritual.
Digital translocation.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what it was, then that totally what happened.
It is how you transfer a consciousness from one house to another.
I think it was more like he turned into a battery and, like, sent the signal really far, and I think he died in the process. You think he sent his soul with it?
That would have been the goal, I would assume.
It seemed like he was satisfied reaching, like, time's end.
Make a sense motive check, and I would say for you, take a +8 conditional modifier.
Ooh. Get these vacation rolls.
Yeah, there's some spicy high ones over here.
35. I'm doing math with a brain that's dead. 43.
Wow, that's
17
a high
plus
roll.
18 plus 8.
Oh, Jesus.
Echo, you know a thing or two about corporate espionage. The biggest problem with corporate espionage is that the spies get caught. And unlike traditional spies, they typically crack pretty easily under pressure. And you remember you had seen back in the Hollow Husk, the Libertecker proper, when you all came in, you had seen that it had a billboard and there was not religious iconography on it. There was corporate icons on there.
The Zim Crawler, not the Hollow Husk.
Sorry, the Zim Crawler, yeah. And when you saw that, it didn't mean a lot to you at the time, but you're realizing this cult is really just a large corporation. And really, using the fanaticism of the cult in oil and chains, they have found the perfect corporate spy. This is somebody that will go out willingly, go to immense lengths to find technology that is probably held by competitors. The idea of the all code, really just technology that this corporate conglomeration does not possess. And they will go out and sacrifice themselves, leaving no evidence or witnesses, or requiring extended health care or anything of that nature, and obtaining that technology. And likely not a soul transfer, though that is something that you can do. A little bit more sinister than that.
As Echo is like kind of like thinking about this, Bubs is gonna just like keep talking about Fuel Tech, and he said like he was like looking for his like people or something, and like it seemed like he was at peace before he went, but I don't really know.
Again, digital translocation, with the goal of merging his soul with the all code. Echo fully knowing that is not a thing.
You're looking at this small child, and you're like, no, Santa is real.
No. He was pretty
Old Diller
dead.
did go to the farm upstate. Don't worry, he's playing in the fields.
Yeah.
That's devastating.
But Peep called us and... Oh my god. You don't know. We saw this, Vesk prison ship
Oh shit.
that echoes... That was like through Echo's eyes, like other Echo's eyes. And on the prison ship we saw Hoagie, and we saw... Well, okay, Spice saw this all. And
I did.
Someone who looked an awfully lot like Bubs, who may not be named.
Yeah, he who shall not be named. I think 899 was also there, and then also there are space pirates. So something's happening in the Vescarium that happens to do with all of us.
Were we on our way to the prison ship, and then we were rerouted by Peep?
We would have gone there next, but Peep did call us and needs something first.
Well, we
I think we
only
should tie in Mosaic Team 1
kind of
into
know
this.
that it's somewhere out there in space. We don't know exactly where it is.
We don't need to worry about that. We got the echolocator.
I have been updating for a while, but most things are somewhere out there in space.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's just what I'm trying to say is just like
Almost all things, yeah.
it's an eventuality we'll get to. I mean, like we want to find it. It's just I don't know. We don't have any leads yet.
We do have leads. We have the echolocator. I can locate people once they're close enough, but like...
Wait a second. It's not just 899. It wasn't 899 at all. It was 10 out of 13 of
was
your
7
batch Echo. I have 10. Those are... Maybe it's 7. A lot of your family is in that
At
fucking
least
prison.
7 of your batch.
Echo
are-
runs the numbers, and I'm just like, I think I am having an error in my coding.
The update may not have totally taken, but
The error message.
Yeah,
Sticky
literally sticky keys.
keys. You're holding down your spacebar too much, Echo.
Base
7.
10 does not equal 13.
Also, I think only Shade knows that they're in the Vescarium. And they're in Vescarium 3, I believe.
No, I could see the Vescarium prison, so.
Yeah, but he's the one who used the echolocator to find out
Yeah,
about
and it's
the
like a
batch.
flying.
I think
it's a flying
Shade is the
prison.
one who knows that there is 10 of them all clustered up on there, and one of them is 899. 7 of them are from Echo's batch.
Gotcha.
But we did see... We knew an Echo at least is there because of the vision-y thing.
Yeah.
So...
We don't know if it was 899 or we don't know. We just saw the echoes. But we got 899 ship.
Oh, yeah, we got cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Oh, and these 2 hover carts for you.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Yeah, I forgot
yours.
about that.
You can see there is like this corn like bookcase that is currently on 2 halves of these 2 big pallet carts, these hover pallets. You can see them. They're like there. You're very familiar with these. They cost a lot to rent by the hour, and even seeing them here fills you with anxiety. You remember you've been gone for at least 25 hours.
Why have we not put them back
Put them back where?
where they came from?
We stole them,
We
so
stole them.
you can have them.
They were checked out under a different Echo. That was probably already dead.
That's not how this works.
What?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Echo, are you okay?
I would prefer that we did not have these on board and that they were back where they belong.
We can sell them, honey. Relax.
That's not how that works.
We can jettison them out of the airspace. We can do it
Also
right
not
now.
how that works.
What can we do to help?
There's like a little bit of like steam coming off some
Well,
of the processors.
is it gonna matter that we blew up Pallades Rock?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. We set the radioactors to like boil or something.
Oh, yeah.
I like how you both said, oh yeah, in totally different ways. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
No, we didn't set it to boil. We set the reactor to override.
To boil.
So your hometown is dead. I'm so sorry.
The debt won't matter, right? Because like,
If we blow it up, it just goes away.
I need to sit down.
well, don't worry, we have a radish fainting couch.
Obviously.
This is a radish fainting couch.
Bubs will
We also stole this from Pallades Rock.
No,
did we not?
they printed
Well,
it.
Pallades Rock doesn't exist anymore.
Bubs will grab Echo's hand and like kind of like lead them
No.
to like lay down or sit to a chair.
Spice teleports
see
into the
the-
room where you are. Not so fast. Just kidding.
Are you?
No, she doesn't.
You use your once a day teleport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are led over to a radish fainting couch. It looks like a radish tilted over on its side, but it has like a bend to it, like maybe a radish that is a little past its prime and has kind of started to sop down a little bit.
Floppy daikon, not
Yeah.
great.
But
The-
you can see the little part that is like the greens off the back. When you sit down, they kind of twist around, and there is like LED lights above. It's like reading lights that are part of it. It's like there are features to it that are actually, they make sense. It's the aesthetic is quite weird, but you sit
Obviously,
down.
there are fans.
We are super fans.
So to kind of recap, we'll try to go a bit slower because I know this is like a lot. But what we think happened was that 899 broke into the Pallades Rock facility, and then somehow some Vests kind of followed 899 through the teleporter and ambushed them and brought them back. There was some kind of struggle. We don't know if the Vesk fully died or what happened there, but all we know is something happened involving the Vesk, and we don't know where 899 is. And they could be on that ship that we saw.
I'm pretty sure they died.
Once Echo is on this radish fainting couch, Echo has fully disassociated.
Sure.
And is just running through their update logs because this cannot be real. This is a fever
Good thing she
dream
didn't hear me.
that they are having.
Like, oh,
They are sitting on giant vegetables. As people both say, we blew up your hometown, your friends are dead, but also you have 13 in your batch, which only should have 10.
that was my notes.
And
An echo unit and another echo unit.
and somehow you override the system to boil, and just they assume something has gone critically wrong, and they are not doing well, and so they've just fully disassociated, checking through their logs, and while they're doing so, they are also checking on their debt to see how high it is now.
It's only risen ever so slightly, your standard interest rate, but then also there is a small amount that was added. I believe it was,
To use the clipboard.
well, no, the clipboard is free. Oh no, the clipboard was in there.
I was gonna say, the clipboard is never free.
As Echo is on this fading couch, Bubs is just gonna kind of like hand fan.
While continuing to overload with information.
There's gotta be leaves somewhere.
And
Kale.
then the update goes through, and you do owe an additional 5,150 credits.
There it is.
For what?
So
What did we do?
you logged in
Visitor's
for the
fee.
first time using your actual Pallades Rock credentials. And there's a number of late fees associated. You didn't do your normal check-ins. There's all these different things that you need to do that are part of your contract.
Yep.
And so it's just the catch-up fees. You gotta
Cool.
pay them to start doing deliveries.
Okay, that 5 million totally expected. They don't see the carts on there. They don't see
No, these
damages
have been
incurred from.
successfully stolen.
Okay,
my
no damages incurred. No
did
lists of like vegetable aesthetic showroom
That was
pieces.
a broken
Nothing of that
printer.
nature.
Bubs is like
Cool.
sitting in front of Echo and he's like fanning, and he's not like talking or anything. He's just waiting for Echo to kind of like come back to us.
In the future, perhaps we could have a fillable form in which you could all write your opinions and reports of what happened while somebody was unconscious.
That sounds like paperwork.
Yeah, what? I'd rather talk to you, friendo. Why
But
don't you
I
wake
can
up?
appreciate maybe it's a lot to digest.
Next time one of you is unconscious, I shall rearrange the entire ship. I shall tell you that your friends are dead,
But they're not dead.
alive, and also somehow exponentially growing in number.
But I have the ship how I like it.
And then I will tell you that we have boiled your hometown by overloading the engines of every car and vehicle available in a 5-mile radius. Finally, I shall tell you that everything is all right because we won. And we are going on a mission now.
Well, I get that you're feeling distressed, but you also, left without saying goodbye.
So what were we supposed to do other than blow up your hometown?
So we rescued you from the crate, and then Hueltex died, and we killed some echoes. And, to be honest, I feel like we did actually do a pretty good job on a mission for once.
I am sure you did, which is why a report stated clearly and succinctly would be better than we boiled your hometown and you are sitting on a radish couch.
Would you want to hear about how we got the radish couch? It's a really fun story.
I think it's the
Oh, she want paperwork?
Guys, I think that's a funny story for another time. Yeah, I think the paperwork idea is a good idea, and maybe we could, try to figure out better ways to deliver news in the future to each other. But
There
I think
was an old Earth custom of a speaking stone, where whoever had the stone could speak,
What?
Why?
so that
Yeah, that
not
sounds so
everyone
slow.
spoke at once. I am the fastest member of this team. You are a lot.
I mean, so you could understand speaking fast. Is that wrong? That's not wrong.
I get that she's saying that she can keep up with us, but doesn't.
But hey guys, but looking forward, so we're going to the, I can't say the word. The
Vivarium?
Vivarium. I can never say it. The Vivarium.
He's not vaginist.
Stylistically.
Going to the Vivarium.
The silly beans.
The vivarium.
Do you guys have any idea what this big mission Peep is gonna assign to us? Apparently, we're gonna talk with the other Mosaic group, and they're gonna be there at the Vivarium. It seems like this one's, the big one.
Echo disassociates again and goes looking for any messages and reports.
I don't know. All I'm saying is
There's a
We
video
don't.
log.
We don't know any. We don't know anything.
There's a video log of Peep's last transmission because it was to the rest of the group, and so you can see that there is a big mission that is going to come up. Team 1 is going to be a part of it. They're already on their way. This message came through about 31 hours ago, and so, they're probably, if not there, right on the cusp, they're almost certainly going to beat you there.
Yeah.
But, you're only 10 hours out. You,
We don't really know anything.
you don't really know many details about what this mission might be. You could always just call Peep and ask.
Echo thinks about that. Won't do it right here.
Why? Why wouldn't you do that?
she doesn't say that out loud. That was
That was an inside thought.
inside thoughts.
But yeah, it's a big mission.
It appears so.
But Peep also got, I think, another promotion because we've been doing
Yeah.
good, and so he I got a jetpack because he gave us some money
Oh.
and sushi.
Did we go shopping?
Yep.
We did indeed.
I believe we are still. We haven't. Have we? Oh no, we did
You've
take
left.
off.
Yeah,
we
we're
did that
we're
at the
off.
beginning. Yeah.
Did you need something?
Yeah. That was.
I'm gonna stay fucking quiet. That's what I'm gonna do.
We could call in advance and get it ordered to the vivarium, and maybe it'll be there when we pick it up.
I had thought to ask Shade for a couple of upgrades.
Like what, honey?
What is wrong with that?
Nothing. It's just he's asleep now.
Yes, that is a problem. But considering our usual travel time in the drift, I figured wherever we are going to next, there will be time.
That's true.
There were also a number of projects in the engineering bay. Aside from just you passed out in the chair, you can see there was a number of things with tarps over them, and so Shade has been working on things. They may or may not be for you. You saw something that looked kind of like a drone. You saw something that looked like a very strange, similar to the Echo kind of cores, but like a crystalline sort of module that looked almost magic in nature. A couple projects going on in there. So anything else that you all want to do before you reach the vivarium?
You mentioned you acquired the echolocator.
Mm-hmm.
Does it function?
It seems to, but I haven't played with it.
Yeah, we haven't tried. We were kind of waiting for you.
I feel like if you put an echo in, you'll get an echo out. So
What?
There is a little smile with that one.
We'll take an echo, leave it echo system. Yeah, of course.
it's very, very Pallades Rock. Oh, and we did. This is probably the hardest thing. Put my hand on your arm.
What did we do?
We spent your token.
Oh no, he know. Yeah,
That was the intent.
that was.
We put it in a teleporter thing, so it didn't teleport us.
That is good.
Yeah, it was good.
Good.
Oh,
They're heckin'
I
expensive.
really. Oh man, she was mad about the cards, but not mad about the
I
token.
know,
Oh my
damn.
god! Wow,
I
priorities.
wouldn't have guessed that one.
Okay. Yeah, but there's an echolocator. I figured you should play with it or something. I don't know.
I intended the token to be used by you to get through the facility safely.
That makes me think, where's Nico?
Yeah, I was just. Oh, and Bubs realized he's just accidentally talking to Spice.
We both look away.
And Bubs is just gonna go because Bubs
That is still a thing.
has Bubs has Nikolai in the garden. He'll go and he'll get it, and he'll approach Echo. I kept him just safe and next to the garden while you were busy.
Thank you, Bubbles.
Yeah, and I read some of that book, and it was really interesting.
I am glad you enjoyed it.
And the soundtrack too. That was good. I really.
It is my favorite in-flight playlist music.
Yeah, I could tell you like arranged a lot of the songs in like a specific order, and like you put like a lot of care in like your playlist. Thank you.
These messages, I apologize for the distraction. They
What
were-
message?
It appears Spice was the only one who did not read them as intended.
stop eating food.
I did not intend
joking.
for you all to read them while I was still alive.
Why did you do that? The whole thing. I mean, you gave them your batch and you got us out of the ship thing, but what did you think was gonna happen to you?
Reclamation.
They were gonna take you back to where.
I would assume. I am quite in arrears as far as my check-ins go, and I am been delinquent in my contract.
We wouldn't let that happen though.
They would not have allowed you otherwise.
Maybe.
I mean, they didn't really allow us, anyways.
Yeah, aren't they all dead now? So doesn't that mean you're free to go?
That was assemblage 12.
You get the sense that if
shit.
there's
Oh, wait,
assemblage
yeah, you're
12,
right. Yeah,
there's probably one through
They
11.
didn't start at 12.
Shit.
Could be like the
you're
Chinese food thing where they just pick random numbers.
Hey, 41! It's like bingo.
Well,
person named
factory
12 donated the
itself
money.
is indeed non-functional, and we do have one of the locator systems. It might be safe to assume they have others.
That makes sense.
I mean, bummer.
I would assume that a corporation as large and as old as Pallades Rock would have made copies. After all, I am a copy.
How was
But you're the
chat with your
best
mom?
one. What?
There were two people talking at once.
Keep up!
Not so fast now. Huh?
So two people drinking wine at the table. We're fucking this up.
I honestly, my question was dumb.
What was yours? Also dumb.
I think yours was up there.
They made a movie about that.
Hey,
The dumb and dumb questions.
So you do catch Echo up.
yeah.
You get Echo caught up on the events that happened within Pallades Rock, the UPB printer. Gibbs, do you confess about your intrusion into the forensics laboratory?
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay. Echo told Shade, who told us, it was like 3 people removed. Yeah, I have been very careless in general about information.
To be
so-
fair, we all kind of went around the area.
No,
after
yeah.
Gibbs.
I
eventually.
did not
After
go
give
in that
Brooke the seal.
motherfucking room.
That's the only place that Spice didn't go. And you didn't go to most places. You were pretty good about just like straight on the mission.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people trick-or-treated
Well,
around.
I mean, yeah, I'll tell you. Like, the guy was sketchy and creepy as fuck, but like nothing bad came of it.
There was one
I
with
thought we
no
were all
arms
around
and
it.
no legs and malicious intent.
So 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Echo 18 is one of the original 20 Echo units. And they're pretty famous. They've had extensive upgrades done over time. They're used entirely to reclaim rogued androids.
They were around for a while.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
18
real
has been
creepy.
around since the beginning.
Repossessed 73 Echo units.
So 18 in particular is infamous. Not only have they reclaimed a number of Echo units, they grew so violent in the methodology that the collateral damage began to outweigh the actual reclamation and reprocessing. And so they decommissioned I would say they decommissioned it, and that's kind of all that you would really know. That's where the kind of story amongst other Echo units would probably end.
I am glad that you escaped alive.
What makes them dangerous? I mean, I know that I could be dangerous without arms and legs too, but like, it seemed a little weird.
Imagine if the cultists of Zon Kuthan had access to nuclear warheads.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
wow. That, ugh.
Well, I left him a granola bar.
That's not a
I
nuclear
forgot
warhead.
about that.
Right.
But it could still be used to murder someone, I suppose, if one were inventive.
Well, I mean, I think he's gonna probably just suffer the effects of radiation, which I know won't immediately kill him, but like, we didn't save him, even though we knew he was there and largely helpless. But
I think that is fine.
okay.
Do you think every Yosoki that is born is a good Yosoki?
Yes.
Oh, I suppose I am talking to the wrong person.
Literally, that's like in the nature.
Hey, guys, so we're gonna have a big mission ahead of us, and I've never, like, really looked into Team 1 before. Do you think they're cool, or, like...
No, I think they're super lame.
Oh, really? What did you hear?
I hear Waldo not as good of a mystic.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a
no magic.
That's a spicy rumor.
Isn't
kids.
that interesting?
That is... Wow, I'm glad.
I don't know how they heal.
I'm so grateful that we have
like
a person
band-aids
like you on the
or
team, Gibbs.
Right. I don't know.
Is there anything we've seen on TJ's bounty board about Mosaic Team 1?
You can look.
We know that some of their members are dead.
Echo's gonna call Peep.
Okay.
In front of us all.
Echo's
Yeah,
not.
do it.
Echo's kind of
I dare you.
stuck
Yay.
around the concerned citizenry of the
I
fainting
think,
town.
yeah,
The
we're
pumpkin
all
coffee
just like,
table.
now that you've woken up, we're all just like been missing your presence. So we're all just like, if you move, we move.
So you make this call to Pete. Your Yosoki mission coordinator appears very promptly on the communicator, almost immediately. And you can hear, oh my gosh, Echo, by the stars. And you can see like the fur a little bit like unkempt. They're wearing a very, very sharp, like navy blue mosaic shirt, but they look very, very harried. And they go, are you guys here yet?
Echo looks at the countdown clock.
Yeah, probably about 9 hours and 50 minutes.
Echo relays the time.
Pete goes, oh, that's not good enough. They just got here. Team 1's here right now.
Director, can you overdrive us?
The director just says, negative, Gibbs.
Echo
tried.
like puts it on solo mode.
Damn it, Gibbs.
Join
The eyes
call.
go small. Yeah, no problem.
What is wrong?
They're just really intimidating. They're successful bounty hunters. Not that you're not successful, but they're not in debt, and they're really good, and they're all here now. And my boss didn't come, which is good because I'm really intimidated by him. But that means that it's just kind of Javier and Waldo running the show, and Waldo's creepy.
Are you not their boss?
I mean, technically, I outrank them, but like this
Which
is
would
Mosaic
make-
Team 1.
They would be more intimidated of you as you could renege their mission.
I can't renege this mission. This is coming from Maxwell directly.
Ah, I understand your stress. Your feelings are valid.
Thanks, Echo. Yeah, being a senior mission coordinator is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I've been really working for this promotion, but now that I'm here, I don't even know if I want it. But that's neither here nor there. You guys are going to have to raid a Vesk prison barge. That's going to be really challenging.
That's it.
Oh, is
And
that
so-
all?
Well, Team 1 is going to be there, and they're going to do probably the biggest part. I think for the most part, you guys are going to be a distraction. You're good at being distractions. Yes!
They will cause the most problems, I am sure.
Well,
What is their history for collateral damage?
Very minimal. They are good at being bounty hunters. They've spent the last month undercover diving deep beneath a frozen moon to be able to get the materials that we need to be able to do this raid successfully. They got blueprints for the entire Vesk place. We have really good intel on...
Do you have the coordinates of the Vesk vessel at its current location?
Yes, we do. It's in the Veskarium, so
Are you
it's going
able
to take
track
at least...
it as it moves?
Not precisely. We have a rough estimation of it being around Vesk 3 right now.
We can get you specifics.
How?
Technology upgrades.
But Team 1 wasn't even able to get specific locations.
We are also getting better at being bounty hunters.
Well, that's great. Please hurry back, because that's going to make us look so good. And we can lead this with a little bit more power than just maybe being distractions. Maybe you guys can actually choose where you go, and you won't just end up in the worst possible place. Okay, you'll be here in 9 hours?
And 45 minutes.
Okay, peep out, and they terminate the communication.
Nice.
It appears we are unable to beat Mosaic Team 1.
Why?
They have already arrived.
Oh no.
Well, we knew that, but like we can beat them like right?
We will need to work with
We're
them.
on the same team. We're team workers. We're
Well,
on a bigger team now.
Yeah, I think they're like teammates, but like I think Gibbs does bring up a good point. I mean, how much information should we share with them?
Ooh.
All of it? What? We're on the same team.
Bobby like puts his head to his head like, oh my god.
I don't understand why we wouldn't share everything.
Some of the information relating to our personal lives might not be relevant.
But that's the best thing to tell people.
Yeah, if there's something that we're not trying to hide, what better way than to involuntarily have a therapy session?
Well, they are bounty hunters. Spice has a fairly large bounty.
Are you looking up TJ's review?
Yeah, I am.
So currently, TJ's Bounty Hunter Reliability Index comes up. The highest rated bounty hunter right now
Mosaic
is
25.
0045. It is Ketlin Orilla Van. They're like an infamous they're one of the most famous bounty hunters in the galaxy. Located just a few spots below them at 0129 is Mosaic Team 1. As a group, they are just outside of they are the 11th highest ranked bounty hunting group in the galaxy. In relation, after all of your successes, you are ranked 1380. You are nestled between the Star Rats at 1335 and William the Pleaser at 1400.
Ew.
Are we?
I didn't
we're
realize he was a
above
bounty
him
hunter.
You are slightly
We're
above.
above him. Sorry, I got excited.
Team 2 is ranked at 0669, and Mosaic
Nice.
Team 3, though you do see an asterisk because they are currently inactive, they were ranked 0444.
So, who composes Mosaic Team 5? Waldo's their mystic, their magic.
Mosaic Team 5?
Mosaic Team 1. Sorry, I'm drunk.
Waldo and
Javier.
Heavier.
So
Javier.
you can actually go onto your internal website and look at the company.
Cool, I do that.
Sure. So you can see diplomatic officer is currently held by an individual named Javier Vasquez. This is an individual who, if you look at their company picture, they have tan skin, they are a human, they are pictured in many of the media that you come up on the infosphere with a white button-up shirt. They have the sleeves crisply cuffed up to the elbows, and they wear a blue vest with Mosaic Team 1 logo on it, almost always. You can see the medical officer is Waldo Tubrenter. They're a very broad-shouldered goblin. Outstanding posture. You can see they are wearing like mechanical suspenders in most of the pictures. You can see the security officer is held by a Vesk, which is relatively uncommon. Their name is Ruxvaldun Magor. They're 9 feet tall. They're gigantic. And you can see they are typically pictured in power armor.
Jesus.
You can see the chief engineer is a relatively recent hire, probably the second newest member. And they are an android named Techno. That
is a terrible name.
When you pull up the information about them, prior to about 30 years ago, almost all of their body of work is working in electronic dance music festivals. And then there is an abrupt change and they become this bounty hunter.
Is it
That's awesome.
.E.C.N.O. whatever?
Me and Techno are gonna fucking get along.
Zero.
Okay.
Yeah. And they don't seem to have the same acronym convention as Shade or Echo. They have a featureless steel face, just no nose or eyes or anything like that. And they're depicted wearing a hood. The newest member of the team is the Ordnance Officer. This is Ordnance Officer Shreya Neptune. They are a human, and there's no picture of them. They are brand new. They were hired maybe 6 months ago.
That is a much better name.
Shreya's Neptune? Shreya Neptune?
Yeah.
What's an ordnance officer? What's that?
Yeah.
So you don't have one, but Ordnance Officer would be somebody in charge of like loading munitions, of using explosives, things like that.
They make things go boom.
Yes.
What is Rook's position, please?
They are the security. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, security officer.
For convenience,
Security officer.
can we say that Gibbs is like putting this on their comm and like broadcast
Of course.
this and we can all,
I'm
like,
sharing all of the
Okay.
info. I'm verbal diarrheaing it.
Okay.
Oh wow, these guys look tough.
And they're all, like, photogenic.
They are, they're all in
Yeah.
everybody's photo very well dressed.
You
Even
know,
this
I thought you were the
technomancer.
diversity hire, but this guy, Rooks, he's everywhere. And by Rooks, I mean Javier.
Gibbs, I don't think you're supposed to say that.
Oh, actually, as you like go down, there's not a tremendous number of
diversity
Lashunta.
hire?
Team 2 has no Lashunta.
No, it's me.
Team 2 consists of an officer.
A white human man?
I mean, so
Maybe,
It's
actually.
space. We don't know if humans are.
And
there's a human named the diplomatic officer of Team 2 is actually a woman named Elspeth, a human. They have a medical officer who's a Shuren envoy, actually.
Oh.
They have a security officer who is a Brenari. You can see like this jacked otter person. You can see they're named Zessie Brownpebble. The chief engineer is a human drone mechanic named Todd. And there is a what is called a chief seer, and it is a gray. And you can see in almost all the pictures they're depicted as like pretty far apart from the rest of the team.
Chief Seer.
Yeah. That's probably like their mystic, you'd imagine.
Yeah, so, sorry, Chief Mystic Officer I have written as a note from last week. That's like a new title? Or like these titles we can give ourselves. Can I give myself any title?
You cannot.
I'm medical.
Your
officer.
diplomatic officer is able to divvy up titles.
I kind of forget if I'm still hired or fired.
So you are not the captain, you are the diplomatic officer. Shade retained the captaincy and made you the diplomatic officer again.
So can I get a promotion, please?
That was
Of
kind
course,
that was
yes!
so it's, I want to be clear. It's not promotions. You have no power whatsoever.
I can change your title, though.
Yes. All you could do is change the title, and through like the way that
Chief
the
Medical Officer.
Chief
way that
Medical
the-
Mystic Officer. I want
the
to be.
way that the Mosaic corporate portal works, there is no like checks or balances on how you change it. You can change it to anything. Their thought was you would be reasonable with it because you were adults.
Yeah,
But
let me write this note
This
down.
doesn't bode well for Bubs.
Team 3 only has one employee currently. The only one that survived the incident was a Trox Mystic. It's like a big arthropod with turtle-like segments on their back and these big compound eyes. And you can see that there is currently the Team 4 is being created. It is the destination for the Mosaic Reset program. And you can see a number of interns have already made it aboard. They have no titles yet, but there is a human named Scott, a Skittermander named Oshana, a Kasatha named Ufril, another human named Paul, and then there is an empty spot that you imagine was probably Efi's, but after having her externship, she decided that was not the path for her.
We're here to help people find the way.
I think she got credit for those.
Echo debates on like putting in a request for a title and then thinks about who is in charge of giving out titles and reconsiders.
Yeah.
Do you like Chief Mystical Officer or Chief Medistical?
I think Princess, Chief, Mystic, Goddess, Officer, number 1.
Feels better and better about their decisions.
Yeah.
Gives it in the spice button like 40 minutes
Bob is
workshopping.
gonna turn to Echo. So I guess we should just not tell them like everything, but just just be generally careful around them. I think would be the go-to.
Sharing information that would be useful for the mission.
Okay, that makes sense.
That we should be liberal with.
Yeah. Do you want to check out the garden, by the way?
Sure.
Nice.
No insight check needed. Echo very much wants to see the garden, but you humor Bubbles and go over, and you can see that some rice has started to grow. Little sprouts are now pushing their way through the dirt. You can see actual little, almost wood-like stems that are kind of forming. There's actual growth. You can see the shape of the dirt in another section has begun to change. There is something happening there. You're not immediately sure what. Aside from that, the dirt has recently been tamped back down and replanted only 3 or 4 days ago, and so nothing new has come up yet.
Echo's not truly a green thumb.
Yeah.
But Echo just kind of like looks at the clump of, like the random clump of dirt and says, "Oh,
Yeah. Isn't it awesome?
You have successfully shown interest in a companion's hobby, and so you just check the box. Being a
Our
good friend.
hobby.
Our hobby, sure.
Hour.
So you witness the garden.
witness me!"
Is there anything else that you all want to do before you arrive at the vivarium?
No.
Okay.
Wait, I changed my title. Her Heliest, Chief Mystic Officer Gibbs.
Yes.
Nice.
Did you send that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, everyone can expect new titles by next time we play.
Great.
Cool.
Let me know what those are. But you do that.
I do want to call Steel and see how things got
Operation
left
Reactive
with
Blue.
that.
Okay. Give me a second here.
Because the last time I talked to him, he was still searching for something. He had to go deeper into the husk.
Oh, right. And then
an
our
operation.
Twitch stuff changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had like no communication for a while, and then we had to go on a direct mission right after, so there wasn't a lot of time.
What's an
you close
affiliate
to it.
anniversary?
It's the anniversary of him turning affiliate, like probably Alboron.
Yeah. I think because of talent, I think we've been affiliates since our first stream.
Sweet.
And so we just haven't ever not been an affiliate. But yeah, no, thank you for keeping us an affiliate. It takes like a certain amount of support every year. It's wild that we're still that. Because if you ever fall off, you just like stop being an affiliate forever, pretty much. So yeah.
You got one chance.
I used to be very, very anxious about it, but thank you very much. It's been very nice. I was saying
Steel, sorry.
steel.
Yes.
You call it steel. Rings once. It rings twice. It rings 3 times, and Bubbles, you're about to give up on this,
Oh, Steel's dead.
and then you just hear, Bubbles.
Hello?
Hey, Bubbles.
You don't sound so good.
It's 2 a.m.
Oh, well, you know how it is, different, like saving times.
Bubbles, it's Saturday. I like to sleep in on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I totally, I was so worried about you, and I just, the last time I talked to you, you were in an operation, and you were like under gunfire, and like I was also in an operation, and like we had to go like radio silent for a while, and it just like I feel like it's like a miscommunication, like a misconnection that I didn't know the timing.
It's cultists, Bubbles. All kinds of cultists, and been trying to wrap them up once and for all. You all helped out with that, I hear.
Yeah, I remember the cultist, but I remember you said you were looking for a hard drive mainframe that you said that Emma was looking at.
Yep. Maybe something like that, but maybe there's a better time for us to talk about this than right here.
Yeah, and again, I didn't know it was 1 a.m. Like I said, space is.
Bubbles, listen to me. It's not about the time.
Oh,
It's about the way that we're talking.
okay.
We'll talk later.
Okay, I'll see ya.
Hey, Bubbles.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear from you.
yeah, I'm glad to hear from you too.
But just a little later next time, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Hangs up.
Dad!
So, anything else before you reach the vivarium?
No.
The clock counts down. You have 3 hours, you have 2 hours, you have 1 hour. Shade's update is just hanging on 98%. It's just getting there, but you arrive at the vivarium.
Nice.
Second here.
Echo goes in a couple of times to check the progress, and it's like, these things are just to make you feel better.
97%. It goes back like one. But yeah, no problem. You arrive at the vivarium. The drift drops away around you, and all around there is just the sort of, or you're still within the drift proper, within the Void Chill Shoal. But it opens up into a much larger space where you can see there are 5 large cylinders that each spin independently within these magnetized rings, themselves all situated within a single disc of metal that are attached by spans to a central disk that houses the station's reactors, computers, and the section that you all dock onto. You can see that there has been work that has been completed since you have last been here. The upper section is much more complete. You can dock on the top part of the station and then drop down. The cargo crane is no longer present. You can see there is a proper large cargo lift that has been installed.
Okay.
And so you no longer have to climb hand over hand to get down. You can see there has been a glass dome that has been built, and you can see, even as you get closer to the docking station, there is a huge glass and steel desk that is lit from underneath, and at it sits Ify, who watches all of you as you arrive. You kind of wave, they just kind of watch as you go over top and out of sight.
It's Mosaic
Into
T5!
the hangar bay. You can see there's a number of drones that are working and operating on a variety of aspects, finishing up shielding components for this place. But you make your way through. You dock with the station successfully, and you can make your way down.
Wow, it's looking good over here. Big upgrade since the last time we were here.
Get into the lift, make your way down, and as the doors open up, you can see Ify is standing up, and they say, "Oh, hey, Peep is expecting you." And all of a sudden, the doors explode open, and Peep, they flatten their body to squeeze through like a rat might to get through quicker. Their suit kind of gets all flattened and rumpled up, but they pop out on the other side, and they say, "By the universe, guys, what took so long? They've been here for 8 hours, and I've been trying to entertain them, but I'm not a diplomatic officer. I'm a mission coordinator. That's supposed to be all your job."
I'm here to save the day, darling.
You can see, fur all ruffled. The suit's a little bit off-sided.
I'm gonna straighten it.
Yeah, we
Help
just
him out.
tighten it up, button the last one.
Thank you, but just be careful of my bones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand him a wipe.
Thank you. He puts it in
Have
the
you been
breast
telling
pocket.
Team 1 how cool we are, though?
I haven't been saying anything about you guys. They just make me really nervous.
You should have talked us up, Peep.
But
Advertise for us.
make it diplomacy.
Yeah, you should. Diplomacy.
Decent diplomacy.
14.
Oh, never mind.
Gibbs, I really want to, okay? But it's just really hard because, all the civilian casualties and the collateral damage. It's not really professional in their eyes, and they're really professional. They wear suits all the time.
All the time?
All the time. Even the one in the robot.
So I have an idea.
Yeah.
What before you give us our grand introduction?
I wasn't gonna.
You're gonna do that.
Oh, okay.
Well, if they are formal people, I think they would appreciate a formal introduction. Am I not wrong?
It would need to be in a conference room.
Ooh, do we have a conference room booked
Yeah,
for this?
Evie, we need conference room 5 stat.
You could see Ify looks and goes, "We don't have 5 conference
Wait,
rooms."
We'll take one.
Wait, Peep, are they saying? Are you saying that they kind of look down on us?
No, I mean, really, I think a lot of people look down on everybody who is lower on them in the rankings, but they're all nice isn't the right word. They're very professional, but they're used to working at a certain pace. You remember Aura's Bay? That was supposed to be a really long undercover mission, and it only lasted a couple days. They just spent a month undercover to go diving. They created an entire underwater structure, and they did a salvage operation on a fallen Vesk vessel, and they didn't blow their cover.
Well, who are they gonna blow it to? The fish?
I got him!
Who's gonna
There's
care?
cities around Dread, I mean, it's not completely desolate. The radiation made it pretty rough, but
All I'm just saying is that's a difference in marketing.
You can see they squint their eyes and they go, I don't really think it is.
There's like just a slow blink from Echo in the corner.
Maybe we'll like make friends with them, but like we won't be like like best friends or something. Like maybe we'll just keep our distance because they do seem like kind of
Guys, if you could do
scary.
me a really big favor and just, I mean this in the best possible way, but please don't do the stuff you normally do. Just, can you be like normal bounty hunters?
No can do, boss.
This is probably not a good time to mention my title's changed. I changed my title. You didn't get the paperwork? I sent it on the way. I emailed it 6 hours ago.
Only a diplomatic officer could change title.
I definitely did not do that.
What?
I'm sorry. I went in one ear and out the other, honey.
Yeah, that sounds.
Nazma's already really stressed trying to come up with contingency plans in case anything goes wrong. The plan's pretty elaborate and it involves a lot of coordination, and this is just already stressing me out a lot. So I really need you guys to be on your best behavior.
Okay, we'll do our best, Peep. We won't let you down.
What if our best isn't good enough?
It will never be good enough. That's the whole point.
Okay.
Echo still has the glamour projector from the crawler.
Yep.
And just changes it to a very generic suit.
Why wouldn't you change it to a nice, like, white collar suit with the black lapel and then the Mosaic Team 5 logo? What's the hottest Mosaic Team 5 fashion right now?
Are you asking Peep?
Yeah.
Peep says, well, I really like the shirt, but I typically would just do whatever Javier is doing.
Fuck, I need a
I'm
picture.
gonna
Do you have a
match
picture?
what Echo's wearing.
Echo has a super generic suit.
Mine
It's
is
like
Gray
the
suit,
suit
white
company.
shirt, like, yeah, suit.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
match.
No problem.
It's the free template that comes.
Gibbs is gonna do it too, but her version's just gonna have like a lot of artificial pockets.
Okay. A lot of extra pockets.
A lot of extra pockets.
It's more like a guayabara than like an actual proper suit, but no problem.
All right.
Okay, you know what I want to wear?
yes! Outfit description time!
Do we all remember the date that Bubbles and Spice were
I've
supposed to go
completely
on
wiped
to?
that from my memory.
On the hollow husk that
one?
never happened yet.
gold dress?
The sexy gold outfit that she was gonna wear on that date where we were gonna.
Good
I don't know, but we did go dancing one
And you
time.
did
It was a
wear it.
different time. Oh, was it that time? She's wearing that.
repeater.
Yeah. No one likes an outfit tracker.
Wait, yeah, wait a
No one
second.
likes an outfit
This time,
tracker.
it's Mosaic Team 5 Blue.
Ooh, sexy.
So it's Mosaic Team 5 Blue, and you can see the LED lights, like, going up her thigh-high boots, and you see it, like, kind of mimicked and, like, coming down her arms a little bit. It's a fucking scene. I would say this is almost elegant evening gown-ish wear more than it is professional wear. Professional
Professional evening wear.
professional evening wear.
Echo doesn't even look as like the light from the glamour projector shifts and
Yeah.
like changes and just looks over at Peep and says, I believe these will suffice to indicate our personalities
Yes.
and our willingness to conform.
It's something, yeah. It's a lot of pockets, Gibbs.
Well, if I get digital stuff, maybe I could like put it in them.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I
Yeah.
think it suits
That's wicked.
Spice.
Yes, darling.
That's actually wicked good.
Well, they've taken up one of the engineering quarters if you want to go and see them. Socrates is setting up a war room. And so, Socrates
forgot.
got here a couple of days ago. He's-
Gibbs runs.
Okay.
Goes out and
As Shade is currently updating, Echo takes on administrative duties
Sure.
and schedules a meeting and like puts it in Peep's name so that Peep is the one who scheduled the meeting
Nice.
on behalf of
on behalf of both Mosaic Team 1 and Team 5, and it is just generically like
Team meeting.
not even, it's like team debrief, conference room 1 with like how to get
But
there.
we don't have a conference room.
we don't have 5 conference rooms. We have a conference room.
Okay.
So you don't. There is not. Oh God! Did I actually put a conference
Did
room?
we put our individual conference rooms?
Give me 1 second, because I actually did the update.
Sir,
I'm
please,
forgetting that.
we have to have a conference room.
We're gonna have to do this in the
I don't know,
lobby.
we're gonna have to do
There's
it in a
war
sand
room
pit.
Socrates' building is really supposed to do that, but hang on, floor 1 arrival.
If there's no conference room 1, Echo will place it at the war room.
No, there are two conference rooms. So there's conference room 1 and conference room 2, 8-foot-long stone tables. There are these like steel benches. They're not benches, stools that rise up, and they're kind of like I think tulip is the shape where it comes out like that. It's just a little bit longer on the back. It's not terribly comfortable for like your upper back, but
it is professional.
it is very professional. Yes.
Makes you sit up straight.
And what time is it currently?
Currently, when you arrive, it is 5:30 a.m.
Echo schedules it for 8 o'clock.
Nice.
We'll schedule it for 8 o'clock.
Business day.
Nice.
Ew, who starts working before 10 a.m., please?
In the distance, there is and you can hear this door open up, and then there is loud footsteps, heavy ones that come through. And you can see there is a 9-foot-tall Vesk that stands in the hallway. They wear stylized blue and black Vesk Enforcer armor. I would say, Spice, you can see armor very similar to like Vesk War era stuff, but this has been very carefully maintained and certainly customized. You can see a lot of like custom artwork on it. They kind of look at all of you and they nod and they say, I'm already awake anyway, so excuse me. And they just kind of walk straight through, kind of weaving their way through you. They don't like shoulder their way through, but they take a straight line and they make their way to the lift that you all just came down on and just get aboard.
Okay. Spice refrains from spitting on the ground behind them and does not make eye contact.
Okay. You can see they hold the door for a second and they go, oh, you're all waiting then.
Wait, what?
We have unfortunately just arrived.
Oh, I mean,
If you are headed to the conference room, I shall accompany you.
they continue to hold the door.
I will go with Echo.
Okay. 2 of you go. They look for a second longer. You're already gone.
Yeah, I'm
in the
Gibson
station.
wherever else.
So they
Spice
let the
still
door
has her
close.
like back to them and she goes, I'll wait for your captain.
They let the door close, and as it's closing, like right before it closes, they turn to you, Echo, and they go, so you're coming from a costume party or what? And the door shuts, and you begin to descend.
The what party?
The costume
Oh,
party.
costume. I heard cocaine.
That too.
But no.
You begin to descend. You go down 1 floor, and it opens up. There is a straight corridor with stainless steel floors, and on the left and right-hand side, the walls are just big glass panels, and you can see there is a conference table on either side. Off into the left, conference room 1, the one that you have kind of designated, the Vesk walks over towards. They gingerly open the door. It's all glass, and they handle it very, very carefully. But they stoop to enter in. They hold the door open for the 2 of you to enter if you want to as well.
Enter. And Echo takes like gestures to one side of the conference table, and Echo takes like not the first seat on one side, but a couple seats down because is not captain, but adjacent ish a couple seats.
Bubs will sit next to Echo.
Okay.
Is it an 8-foot round table, perhaps?
It's square.
It is not. It's squared, however, that you can see the edges slightly rounded so that there's no sharp corners. It doesn't give. There is still clearly marked like a head of the table on both ends, but you can get the sense that like this is like corporate. We're all in this together, but there's clearly a leader.
I'm really hoping that Matt doesn't show up in time for Spice to get to the head of that table.
We're gonna find out.
We'll find out.
So you all sit down. You can see this individual takes out a data pad. They look around.
And is this the still the 7-foot guy?
Security officer
9
Rooks
foot tall
Bell
is
Dunn.
this.
Bell. What's his name?
Vest.
Rooks Bell Dune?
They look up at the 2 of you and they say, all right, well, the 2 of you can call me Rux. I'm a security officer in charge of this mission. And since you're here nice and early and you don't need to sleep the same as the rest of us, we could just start reviewing things early. You familiar with Vesk warships? And they put this data pad down.
Nice to meet you. I'm Bubs, and this is my team worker,
Yeah,
Echo.
no, Bubbles and Echo. I'm familiar with you.
Okay.
We're part of the same organization. Do you not do
No, we did research on the company website. We are fully aware. We're just formalities.
Good.
And I'll
if
take the
there
paper.
happen to be other echo units nearby, it can get confusing. 549 will also suffice.
Very well, 549. But you're the only echo unit that's employed by our organization.
It is true.
Sadly.
We do have information that there are other echo units aboard the vessel.
Oh, more than other echo units. There is at least one, actually.
And they kind of reach out and they go,
The whole point of us being able to do this is thing about a Vesk prison ship. There's a lot of wanted people aboard.
and they drop a fat stack of security or of templates down here. Now I apologize, my printer ran out of ink for colors, but colors approximate there. And you can see there is just roughly close to a dozen and a half different bounties just spread out across the space, all different individuals who are like...
Oh, we got
infamous for
899 on
different
here
things.
again.
And you see the bottom one, their bounty has grown substantially since the last time you saw them, is one of 899. And Rux points at that one with a big Vesk talented finger, and they say,
Another Echo unit. Don't suppose you know each other?
Echo like slow blinks.
We have not physically crossed paths.
Really? Even though you were both aboard the Tony Express in the same date range? That's
That would
quite odd.
require me to be on the train and in the car with them. I was in a separate car.
you can see they narrow their eyes.
I was in a separate car.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
No, it's true. You've never actually interacted yet.
There's a Yosoki.
I've never physically met 899.
And they say,
So you mean to tell me you had a bounty just cars away and you missed it?
It happens.
Not to us. But respectfully, that's why you're here.
they nod and they say,
It's about time you all learned and stopped sticking so far behind in the rankings. Don't you want to be good?
Efficient.
Yes, they mean the same thing.
Bubby's gonna kind of like give a quick side-eye glance to Echo and be like, "This motherfucker."
Echo. Can Echo look through these? Because Echo's
Yeah.
right there,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
then
Yeah.
not these two.
Yeah.
and there is quite a few.
Is there a blueprint for the ship, the prison ship that you gave and passed around? Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm looking at this prison ship right now, Brooks, and this is a massive undertaking. We've done similar stuff to this before,
It's just another picture.
but I want to assure
Same
you.
one, but that's just a little
shit,
bit closer.
bigger, yeah.
But
There's
I
just
want
a
to.
lot of detail to it.
I want to assure you that our team is up to snuff, and we will be giving it our all.
Oh, that's good.
We are happy to give up most of these bounties, but I do request that we take credit for 899.
You can take credit for 899, I suppose. Really, that's all yes, Cole. You can speak to the diplomatic officer himself about that. There's only one that we're intending to go after, and they're not amongst those. Respectfully, these are really for all of you to deal with.
Understood.
They nod their head and they say,
We'll need to plan out once everybody else is here how we're going to go about intervening with this ship, but we do have quite a bit of intelligence that will help us in that regard.
In the missing briefing that Peep sent, I don't think they even sent a mission briefing.
No.
No. So we don't know. Okay, so we're not expected to know what their target is.
not as far as you know.
Okay. Fair enough.
I am under the impression that we are meant to assist you in your capacity.
That is correct.
100%.
We have spent the last month doing the research and laying the groundwork for this operation, so its success is of the utmost importance. We estimate that we can clear 152 million worth of bounties in total. It isn't necessary to collect all of them, of course, but this does represent a huge opportunity. You can all join us at the top of the bounty rankings if this is successful.
We're not there.
I know. That's why I didn't say anything out loud.
It does.
Sorry, Kara brain just broke. Nope, I lost it.
So I suppose I should be there. Just
Do you want to be on the top of the bounty board?
Yeah.
That's what he last said.
Of course we want to be on the top. We're Mosaic. We wear these colors with honor. Because I know he's a vest, so.
He looks
gray
at
and
both
white
of you.
colors.
You're wearing like the most
suit.
generic gray white
Yeah.
suits. He nods and he says, "Well, I've heard different species observe colors differently, but of course, mosaic gray."
This does present a unique opportunity
It does.
in many ways. From our recent mission near the Vescarium, we were able to acquire technology that allowed us to pinpoint a specific vessel with extreme accuracy.
Well, that's fantastic.
Will we be required to take a similar ship? Or will we be using our own ships?
We'll be using our own ships, I would imagine. But we need to wait for everybody else to get here.
Understood.
And once that happens, we can go over the specifics.
Our medical officer does have some duties related to a fellow
You've got a
Mosaic.
medical officer.
Yeah.
She has acted in capacity as a medical officer, although her title changes frequently.
Gibbs Scarborough is really a medical officer. Waldo's under the
Acts
impression.
in capacity as a medical officer.
Ah, okay. So you're still hiring them.
Waldo's under the impression what?
That she doesn't know how to heal. I mean, she looks respectfully.
Oh,
She
There's
looks
nothing respectful.
a little bit.
I believe there are some cultural differences between Waldo and Gibbs that might cause tension.
Perhaps.
It might be wise to keep both of them apprised of the need for sensitivity in regards to other cultures.
Waldo will be fine.
yeah. But, and that's what makes the galaxy so great is the great expansiveness of it, and you see different.
Echo kicks Gibbs under the not Gibbs, Snugs under the table.
No problem.
Like, nope, too much.
He nods and he says, "Well, I mean, that's
All well and good, but we need to focus on the mission.
So he takes it and he begins
that
to
one
go
before.
over like a little bit of like the elements that you can see on this space, and he talks a little bit about some of the basics of the ship.
I recognize these assets. These are good assets.
Okay, this is not related to what you guys are talking about, but how the fuck did you build this ship?
We can talk about that on stream.
Okay, this is amazing.
So the hard part is the ship just makes itself. The hard part is really like designing the game around it. But he goes over elements of the ship. You can see it has a Nova heavy engine. It has a number of heavy thrusters. It has automated defensive gunnery stations. It has software built into it to help it auto-evade munitions. It has self-repair modules. It has Mark 10 countermeasures, heavy shields. There are all kinds of cool things that are kind of built into it. The primary thing that catches your eye is the fact that it has a capacity for 120 prisoners. It is a large ship and can certainly house quite a few individuals. You also note that there is a main armament in the front that is called a Star Spear rail launcher, and that is a capital weapon. It is a massive, devastating weapon that only
One
has
good hit.
one arc of fire. Yeah.
It's got Death Star capabilities.
It does. It also has antimatter torpedo turrets.
But it takes
also
24
has-
hours to charge.
It also has rotary cannon arrays along either side.
Did we get the sense when we were looking at it, like originally, that it was overstocked with prisoners? Like prisoners were more shoved in than.
Probably,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I'm not there, but just wondering.
Echo gives the excuses. Hold on, sneeze.
Achoo!
Bless you.
Echo basically gives formal excuses for why the meeting has to start at 8,
Okay.
which is like, we have arrived and Scabrat has duties tending to
Other Scabrat.
a citizen. What's the word? Consultant on board.
It takes amateurs a long time to be able to practice medicine.
Oh,
Understandable.
God, so
sensitivity is
condescending.
You will notice that we are all still alive. Gibbs does indeed do her job.
I suppose that's true.
So, like we said earlier before, we're very excited to be working with you, and we think this is going to be a great mission.
Yeah. So
We expect to work with professionalism on both sides.
they nod and they say, that won't be a problem for us. I've done quite a bit of reading, and I hope that your finesse has come along a little bit. I've seen some of your interviews, and, well, they left something to be desired.
You thank God, Spice.
Yeah, I'm literally sitting over here.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
But
There's like a very minuscule little twitch because he's not only insulted like Gibbs now, he's insulted Spice and also Bubbles.
yeah, pretty much everybody with the exception of you and maybe,
He has not said anything directly about Shane.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
your
you guys have good
interviews.
interview skills. Yeah, you had
Echo's never appeared in an interview.
Yeah, that's true.
So, time passes by, but for you, Gibbs, you run over and you find Socrates. You can make your way over to the area that Socrates has kind of claimed for themselves. It is, give me 1 second here. In the Mosaic directory, it is now labeled as Socrates' War Room. But this is a space set up adjacent to Peep's office.
The hole is still
formerly
there.
empty space.
Sorry.
There's still some damage that has been done to the wall, yes. There's other priorities for building. They're still building a space station. But yeah, you can see the War Room has a holographic table that is massive that has been built into it. You can see in the space proper, give me 1 second to pull this up. Currently working on putting together some kind of lens onto a large projector is Socrates, the large-headed Yosoki. You can see they still have some areas where their fur is a little bit shorter and singed, but they are furiously working on building what looks like a holographic projector.
Do you need a hand with that?
They turn and they see you and they go, "Oh, Gibbs." And they go and they like smooth the elements of fur that have like badly singed. And they walk over. They're not as badly hurt as you last seen them. They seem
healing
to have healed a
nicely.
little bit. He nods and he says, everyone at the station has been very helpful and very kind. Have you brought everybody else? We're running out of time.
I'm afraid I don't know what we're running against.
The Vesk.
We saw Hoagie on a warship.
Yes, they sent a team to the city.
The Vesk did?
Yes,
Why would they have any qualms with whatever was going on at...
I don't know, but they came at night. And I've heard it's been happening elsewhere as well. They're catching all sorts of people. But I don't know why they would go after the scab rats. They kind of totter back over to the table and they start working at it again, but they look up and they say, we have much to plan for and very little time before you need to leave.
We have this meeting at 8. Do you want to come?
They like look down at the communicator, it's like 7:55, and they're just like, not especially. Is it with the other Mosaic team? They're not the best.
Well, they're Mosaic Team 1. Of course they're not the best. 5's the best.
Of course, that's what I mean, yes. They nod and they like keep working pretty feverishly, but they look back up and they say, when you're ready to plan this, of course, come back and hopefully I'll have this table done.
Okay, and this planning meeting is not something you want to be part of?
Make a diplomacy check.
Cool.
You are damn lucky, sir.
Holy shit. 41.
They look at you and they say, it's been days since I've seen another Yosoki Gibbs. I suppose I'll go. Oh, look, he looks up hands.
Aww.
Fucking bullshit.
Almost as if he came straight from work. Ah!
Damn it.
Someone got the memo about attire for our professional meeting.
Yeah. It's a work trip. So you get
Yeah. So, sorry,
Socrates on board.
Ariana's not understanding. So is he talking about planning something separate than the vest thing, or like...
It might be kind of like similar but related. He may have his own plan, his own ideas.
Okay. So I just want to get him in the room to hear whatever they're
he's
planning.
going. He's going with you.
Cool. Because
So-
I'm not gonna understand why there's.
You grab Socrates. Socrates goes with you.
I'm gonna hold his hand. We're gonna walk together to the war room.
He does
other-
not. He does not allow that. He does kind of pull the paws away, and he will say, "Boundaries are very important to me, Gibbs." You can see like this big head, like still kind of heavy on their little body after their injuries,
Get ready
but they
for
make their way. You
disappointment.
make your way to the conference room. Shade, there has been a team meeting called for 8 a.m. It has been called by Pete.
Team debrief.
Pete. Yes, it is a
Debrief.
team debrief called by Pete. We're on the Vivarium.
Participants are Mosaic Team 1 and Mosaic Team 5.
Correct.
Attire business.
So business attire. You make your way. What are you wearing to this meeting?
Is it literally business attire?
So if you, it says
Doesn't
business.
say business attire, but there's like a memo for specific
If you remember,
contexts.
Mosaic Team 1 always dress super pristine, and I have
They
a
wear
note that
suits?
says great posture.
Right.
They wear
So-
suits.
Shade has the best posture.
But for what it's worth, when you come downstairs from the place, the space station a little bit more finished than you last saw it. There's no like ladder you have to go down. There is a actual lift. When you get to the bottom and it opens, you see Spice, and Spice is wearing if I remember correctly, it was a strapless, like thigh-length metallic blue dress.
Yeah.
And
It has a matching choker collar, and it's flapper, so it's got like fringe.
Did
yeah,
I get to craft the things that I mentioned?
you did.
Yeah.
Did Spice receive the thing? That
No, those are still all under cloths in the engineering bay. You went down for your upgrade. So
We're
those
in the
things are
Vivarium
somewhere.
right now, about to
would have been nice
Me.
to give you the thing.
what? So I can shoot them?
No, so you could.
So I can kill Mosaic Team 1 before a mission?
This is gonna happen.
Yes.
You're ready about to fight
Please,
them.
please
You
don't
and-
kill anyone.
You and Spice are there, and then the door opens, and you can see Socrates and Gibbs enter the space.
Oh, hi!
Gibbs is actually wearing a nice gray formal cargo vest. It's actually like a suit jacket, but there's just so many pockets that it still has that cargo vest look. But is as formal as you've ever seen Gibbs. Socrates is with them, and yeah.
I think when the elevator door opens into the conference room, Spice and Shade are back to back with 2 lit cigarettes. And Spice was being like in the elevator, being like, "Shade, put your foot here. Put your shoulder blades against mine. And ready, 3, 2, 1. The door opens."
Okay. You
The
are
elevator's echo,
kind of
right?
jostled around. You don't necessarily comply, but like there's only so much
Spice
resistance you
lights
can
your
do in a
cigarette
closed
and then-
elevator. And you do have a lit cigarette. That's nice, especially right now. For you, Gibbs, what are you doing with this?
I
elaborate
pad down the
entrance?
hall or whatever and just sort of like, open the door, peek in, kind of, I'm like, oh, look, my friends are here. And then like, I sit.
Our civilian consultant
Oh,
is
hey,
also
Gibbs.
here.
As
they're
you
here.
walk over, you can see through the glass walls, there is this conference table, this massive 9-foot-tall Vesk wearing the Enforcer armor in both black and then also mosaic blue. He is sitting down at a table going over a number of different data
Oh,
slates.
nice, you must be Brooks. Shake hand.
They get up and they kind of narrow their eyes and they say, "You are the healer, Gibbs."
Uh-huh.
They nod their head.
I'm her healiness.
They
Oh my god.
they like are reaching a hand out and they just kind of retract it slowly. And they just sit down and begin to go, "This is a Starscream rail cannon." And they like begin to like talk again to you. But you can all kind of sit around this table. They're the only member until about exactly 8 o'clock. And the elevator comes again. Give me 1 second here.
So we're all on time for the meeting.
Yeah, but they're
Everyone is on time.
fashionably late.
We are early for the meeting because 5 minutes.
You're early to the meeting. Rux is early to the meeting. When your communicator hits 8 o'clock, it is just the elevator opens.
What in the Diego
That's
music?
that's so cool.
You can see first at the head of the group, tall, tan skin, wearing a white button-up shirt that has been left unbuttoned down to mid-chest.
No,
Crisply
sir.
cuffed sleeves to the elbows.
Spice.
Blue vest, Mosaic Team 1 logo on it. You can see Vasquez has been embroidered on the chest pocket's lip in gold. The eyes are a deep brown, and the only weapon that you could see on them is a silver flask in a chest holster that would be like a pistol holster. You can see behind them as they step out a small personal drone on 2 triangular treaded tracks. This is a personal valet drone. Kind of chugs in, and you can see it carries a huge sniper rifle hard case with a sticker on it that features a Sharan, their head crowned with stars, just riffing on a bright pink electric guitar.
What is that?
But they walk in. You've actually seen a very similar figure on Spice. It is Hylax. It is a Hylax shredding on a guitar,
Nice.
but it's Hylax. They step out and begin to approach.
There was
the
a
conference
character that
room.
was made for me.
You can see behind them, there is Gibbs, your counterpart, a goblin. They stand a imposing 4'4", broad-shouldered for a goblin, outstanding posture. You can see on their back there is a carbon black cinder rifle. You can see complex technical device like delicate pauldrons almost sit atop a crisp mosaic blue suit. His eyes shift around everywhere. You can see they look at the table and all the different data slates, and they look a little disapproving at it. They look up at you and they just kind of nod crisply. You can see the pauldron also has what looks like a injector rifle that has been incorporated into the shoulder itself. But they kind of nod as they approach. You can see behind them is an android. This android has a pair of White Star plasma pistols and shoulder holsters. You can see they are wearing a brown leather duster that is cropped on the right side only, floor length down to the down to the left. The longer side houses just tools. You see different pieces of tech, fuel cells. You can see that there are also armored leather panels on that side. The android's body itself is gloved in smooth carbon skin. You just see a flat steel face, and as they go and they kind of look around, you can see there is just a smiley face emoji that is holographically broadcast
Oh, he's
right
so
in front.
cool.
And they turn and they keep walking.
This guy's cool.
They wave to you, Gibbs, and you can see they wear a set of brass knuckles on the left hand that says reset. They walk in as well, and then you can see the largest of any of these. Yeah, and you see the other one says hard as well.
That's funny.
The largest individual from everybody is the final person that rolls in, and they roll. You see massive metal sphere. It looks to be roughly 8 feet across, but it rolls down the hall, and then you see 6 metallic tendrils kind of sprout out and lift them up almost like Doc Ock. And you can see suddenly there's like this viewport, and there is a human on the inside of what is incredibly elaborate power armor. So much so that they are really just kind of sitting cross-legged in this cockpit, and the legs are kind of moving around.
Echo kind of
Shreya.
leans down to Bubs and says, I was wondering why the halls were expanded.
You can see dark skin. You can see short natural hair that has curls that go down her face. You can see she has a
Shredder.
number of different mechanical implements that are attached to the different arms that sort of form legs and arms for this machine. It looks almost like a giant mechanical squid, and she is kind of sitting in the eye of it. But they all make their way down the hallway through the glass walls. You can just see them walk the
Just
whole way.
curious, what does she look like in the clear panel in this that you can see her face? What is her face?
There's no
Calm.
mention of it.
Calm.
Yeah, you can see she looks
I can see
calm. You can
Dark
see,
skin, natural hair.
yeah, she has natural hair. It's longer in the front, kind of comes down and curls in front of her face. You can see that inside this machine, probably pretty hot, and so it's like a formal, almost like a vest, much more formal than Gibbs is. It has like a little bit of a higher collar. You can see there is some detail work around the shoulders, but yeah,
Okay.
they
Sorry.
make their way into the space.
I like the character.
One second. They all take their place around the table. Peep is the last to arrive. They come in 5 minutes late. 8:05. Yeah. 8:05. You can see they suddenly the elevator doors open right as everybody is taking their seats. The only seat available. Is anybody sitting at the head of the table?
Size.
Spice. You go over. You sit right at the head of the table.
There was Echo had set aside a chair that was very obviously Yosoki sized.
Gibbs, who was it there?
for Peep.
Because since Peep is late, Gibbs will sit there
Okay, so
with
Peep,
Socrates.
Peep runs up, and you can see. So with Socrates,
Socrates is
there's
here.
actually not enough seats. There's no seats left for Peep if everybody's sitting because you brought
Somebody's
Socrates.
fuck out of here.
Okay, so Shade, you stand. He goes over, and you can see the
Cool guy
glass
in the
doors
corner.
swing open, and he runs and he goes, "Guys, I'm so sorry. I don't remember calling this meeting, but I'm here. We can start now." And he goes and like climbs up into the chair that's like a little too tall for him, and he goes around and he sees the data pads already around, and he goes, "Oh, I'm really sorry for being late. Okay, so you already know we're raiding a Vesk prison barge." And as it is 8:25, we're going to step away for a quick break. And when we come back, we can start planning this prison barge assault.
Nice.
Can't wait to talk about Javier more.
But thank you for joining us. We'll be back in just a little bit. There's a countdown on your screen, and you'll see it when it's done.
What a wet dream of a human.
and welcome back. It's me. It's just me. If I show you the table around me, you'll see it's empty. But that's okay. We have a time to just talk. Talon, I want to say hello to you. I never get to talk to you actually when you're here, and so I saw that you are burying shade in the chat. Big Meanie Head, I think, is a great officer title. I also saw, hang on. Let's see here. Olive posted some pictures for us of the actual chat. But I think Big Meanie Head is great. I think her healiness is also pretty good. But I hope you're doing good, Talon. Talon, it's our streamer anniversary or something like that. And you've supported us literally since day one. So thank you so much for being one of those people that's there. I know Dan Diz also subscribed, I think, for like the 4th month in a row last week. And so that's also super helpful. Those things really do make it, it's fun. We look forward to seeing you every week. So thank you for being part of our journey, Talon. I could also take this little mid-stream break to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we have coming up in the next couple months. So next month we have in November Feast of the Noble Vale, which is the kind of Thanksgiving special one-shot. That is something that is run by Kara. It is like a sort of cook-off that is D&D themed. It's run in a 5e system, and it features both a ingredient gathering section and a cooking section. There's a lot of sabotage. It's a lot of fun. So that is something that we're really exciting to see. Yeah, it's been 5 years. Isn't that wild? The fact that we've been doing this for so long is nuts. I remember we started in 2019, and so like I was still working at a job. Me and Tina worked together. We were working in residential programs. It was tough. Those are tough days, but yeah, time does fly by. So after Feast of the Noble Vale in December, we are going to have Axe Wolf and Woe, which is an original D&D one-shot set in the backstory of Brenna. That is going to be following up with her story after Campaign 1. And then after that in January, we're going to be playing Fallout Blackheart of Texas. That is going to be a 5-part adventure that we are going to be doing using the Modifius' 2d20 system. We got the official okay to do that from Modifius and from Bethesda, so that is quite exciting. And then in January, there is likely going to be a Mosaic Team 1 adjacent one-shot in the Starfinder system. And then in February, on the 14th, we will be airing Ace of Roses, which is a original Starfinder one-shot. And you'll notice, I'm no longer alone. Look at that. Like magic.
We had a team debrief.
Yeah, team debrief.
So fucking, oh my god.
Thank you for sticking with us.
You're good. We're gonna just fuck around and find out like we always do.
Hell yeah.
We'll jump right back into Starfinder. You now sit around a conference table with Mosaic Team 1. You can see this huge humanoid in this kind of like stool, in this big power armor octopus-like robot.
Wait, they must
sort
not
of
need a chair.
featured over. They are like situated right in front of one and are almost like pantomiming leaning back into it. They're not sitting in it, but they're technically using it.
Yeah, they take a
Waste
space.
of chair.
Yeah.
It's definitely a waste of a chair.
Wasted chair.
They are good bounty hunters.
Yeah, they professionally use that fucking chair.
We are good
Hey, we
people.
can't go to war with them already.
Well, I
Ari.
don't know
We gotta-
about that.
just take a breath again.
Your senior mission
break.
coordinator,
Generally.
Pete, the white Yosoki, looks at all of you. They kind of smooth their fur down and they go, oh, like I said, I'm really sorry that I'm late, but we can get this mission started. All of you are gathered here to work together on this really important mission for Mosaic. We found a number of really valuable bounties that are all being stored in the same place. Mosaic Team 1 has done an amazing job over the last month doing some research and laying the groundwork for this operation, and so it's time for us to plan on how we're going to go about doing this. Javier, do you have more that you want to say? And you can see the diplomatic officer from Team 1 kind of straightens out their hair, and they look around and they say, firstly, it is an honor to work with all of you. You've done a number of very impressive things over the last few months. Let us put some of the damaging aspects of your work behind you. We have a chance to make history. He turns and says, how much do you all know about the Vesk?
How much do we know about the Vesk?
I can speak Vesk.
They nod and say this would be helpful.
Spice, triggered by the word Vesk. but also blinded by the absolute beauty of Javier. I think you can see like the cartoony like hearts in her eyes.
Sure.
Come over. She's like visibly drooling at the table while chewing on a pencil, and she drops it and she goes, "Honey, I know a little bit about the Vesk."
They nod and they say, "This is also good."
My knowledge of the Veskarium is sadly limited to those who live on the outskirts.
And that has often been the case. A reclusive group. Very insulative, but we've managed to get a number of their protocols. When we find the ship.
And at that, Rux, this huge Vesk, kind of pipes up and goes,
Actually, some good news on that front. This group says that they can pinpoint the ship exactly.
and they kind of turn and they gesture to you, Echo, and they say, "Go on, tell them."
We recently liberated some technology from a facility at the edge of Veskarium space. It allows us to pinpoint this specific vessel with accuracy.
You can see he narrows his eyes a little bit, but then nods and says,
This will be most helpful. If we can find the ship right away, we need only assault it and destroy the escorts. The protocols of the Vesk will make them jump to the drift, and we now have their follow-along protocol.
and they hold up a small chip. And you can see this is a almost certainly Vescan design. It looks a little bit waterlogged, actually, but aside from that, it still looks to be functional. And they kind of shake it a little bit, and they say,
With this, when they jump to the drift, we can follow exactly to where they are. This will give us a 30-second window before their their autonomous turrets pick us up. In that window, we will need to find a place to board.
Do we have any ships that match those in the Veskarium? At least with transponders.
They shake their head and they say, Sadly, we do not. But Techno should be able to get us through unseen, at least digitally.
But we also have one ship that could get through unseen physically.
We do have a very small craft that would be able to hold a single pilot.
We also have. Never mind.
They nod and they say, That might be useful to get there, but we need to retrieve several bounties.
and they gesture at the table, and you can see there's just about 15, 16 data slates, each one depicting a different bounty. And Matt, they are...
The sketch of the ship too.
Oh yeah, the
Which
blueprints
is-
for the ship are there as well.
Where
Oh, here's a stack of bounties and the blueprints.
Okay.
You can look at.
He kind of gestures at the various bounties, and he says,
It would, however, be preferable to take a craft that could carry a number of people in addition to yourselves. These are all of your targets. You
We
need
have a
not
small
tell.
shuttlecraft, however, it is coded for the GPF and would not be useful in this instance.
they turn and look at the android, the kind of expressionless metal mask looks up at them, and they say,
Techno, will you be able to fix this?
and you can see in front of their face just a thumbs up emoji, just broadcast, and then dies down.
fix the ship to look like not GPF.
Correct.
These are our bounties? Like our bounties or like our bounties?
These are the ones for all of you to focus on.
And you are doing what?
We are going after the ship's captain.
Who's the ship's captain?
They look at you and they say, respectfully, there are members of your team who have a tendency to get involved where they should not.
And you think finding out in the middle of action instead of in the conference room is the better alternative?
I think once we have captured them, you may know their identity.
And if we find out before you capture them, that's a risk you're willing to take?
Yes.
Okay.
For our reference, is your bounty required dead or alive?
I believe dead is fine.
In case of stray fire,
Indeed. Stray fire would be most regrettable, as we shall be in the command deck, which is located just near all of their munitions. Be cautious with your fire when aboard, please.
I was more thinking if it were to come down to a ship-to-ship battle. This, and they,
gesture to the capital weapon.
Is quite concerning.
Yes. This would be able to destroy many ships in a single blow. So, if it does come down to ship engagement, stay behind it.
As Bubs goes through these paperwork to like listed bounties, does he see Miles or any location or anything mentioned of Miles? Is he in here?
No mentions of Miles.
The
no.
only one that Echo noted, remembered is 899.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they say there is approximately 140 prisoners aboard.
Okay.
We do not know all of them. We do not even know any of their locations, but there are likely many other bounties available. If you notice anyone, if you see anybody that you recognize, take them as well. You all have a unique quality that we do not possess. You have the USR's approval for engagement in ship-to-ship combat, whereas we do not.
So we are required to be the lead vessel in this situation.
It would be preferable.
So our objectives are to assault the ship, create enough distraction so that you can attempt to capture their captain, and then evacuate as many of the prisoners as possible.
The prisoners are not of a concern to us.
They are concerned to us.
Well, that is very nice, as long as it does not impede the bounties.
Okay.
Those are the objective.
I meant prisoners as in the bounties.
Yes.
As far as a distraction, how do you intend to get aboard?
He smiles and he says, we intend to use a warp bubble protocol to enter aggressively. Once the distraction has been made, that is.
So you intend for our distraction to be ship-to-ship combat?
No. We intend for you to board.
Ah,
You need to capture many of these bounties, and you'll need to be aboard to do so. Some required alive.
so you are suggesting that we enter ships in our usual fashion.
Loud and aggressive.
When Gibbs says that, they say, I suppose, yes. The more attention that you draw to yourself, the less will be drawn to us. When they recognize us, they will pursue us.
Bubs thinks for a moment how when we went to the Zen Crawler, we were kind of sent there to create a big boom distraction for basically the USSR to just come in and take over.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Or-
Same with Perdido also.
We have experience in this.
They nod and they say, yes, well, there is use for every tool. We will be the scalpel. You will be the very large hammer.
You cannot accomplish every job with a scalpel.
They nod. They point at the blueprints and they say, where do you all intend to board?
Well, once we're close enough, I can find out where any bounty we care about is.
Where's the
Ideally,
big? Yes, that one.
we would like to enter closest to the prison quarters. This would get us the most notice, as there will probably be active cameras and security systems.
They nod and they say, almost certainly.
Can I do a check to see like any weak points within this?
Yeah, make an engineering check.
Probably the right side.
To just go off what Kara said, just for ease, could we locate on here where the prison quarters would be?
That one is a little small. This is a
The
bit
right
easier.
side, it looks
Yeah,
like.
these are
Okay, so just even though this is smaller though, so right here?
The entire right
So
side.
almost,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, like,
the entire and the center
entire-
side too. Most of the bottom first deck is just entirely prison. The top deck, which is the square, the kind of upper level square,
Just don't worry about it, Dan. Just they can see it in more in greater detail at Alberon RPG on our Instagram.
exactly. But the upper deck, the kind of square, that is more like crew quarters. You can see they actually have a farm that's built into it. There's a couple of things in there that are actually a little surprising.
So what's the they're going to the ship's captain and the command deck. Where's the command deck on this sheet?
On the top front,
This thing? Oh, the command center?
yeah, command
Perfect.
center. For you, as you look at these, when you look at it for like weaknesses, what kind of weaknesses are we talking about here?
Places that would be good breach points for potential boarding party to attack.
There's close to 36 airlocks that open to the external part of the ship. So there's a number of places that you could target. It really comes down to what do you want to enter near.
Right, so I guess entering as close to the bounty targets, presumably held in the prison quarters, as possible without going into a spot that would have high security as a result of being in the prison quarters.
Sure. So as you're kind of looking around, you can see along the right-hand side, there are 4 external airlocks that would open up. Well,
There's a special cargo hole right here
there is.
that would connect.
Okay. So looking at this, you would say there is an airlock that opens up right next to a conference room. Conference rooms aren't typically heavily guarded, and so that might be a good place to enter. You do see that would put you not too far off from like a entire what looks like a medical treatment place. Usually isolation has been written across. You see another airlock that's almost like the mirror version of that. That opens up near a kind of battery and security area. There would almost certainly be a fight to get in, but once you get past them, there's just offices, administrative areas, things like that around. A number of bathrooms further along. And then there's another airlock that opens directly into the kind of prison ward area. That would be right around near a kind of pair of double rooms. Given the fact that there are a number of double rooms here, probably a little bit less dangerous are the individuals. And so that might be a good place. There's 2 airlocks that open up directly from the outside there, and those are located on the starboard side. If you wanted to be away from the prison, there is I would say, on the upper deck, probably the softest point is a escape pod that is kind of located like a shuttle. And that shuttle, you could probably breach the outside of the shuttle and then enter in through the shuttle's airlock. That would lead you into the cargo bay. That is where Gibbs is pointing to, the special cargo areas, and so that is all kind of one
That's
area.
this. Because otherwise, if we're too far north, we're gonna be quite close to the command center.
At this, Waldo speaks up. You see this goblin kind of straightens up a little bit, and they say,
And the other thing to keep in mind here is that you really all need to be close enough to be able to help each other. So wherever you're going to end up, it should be in a place where you will not need to split your forces.
Would there be a way to sabotage the entire ship by going into the engineering and just shutting down power?
almost certainly, yeah.
Because that also feels like an easy thing to do. Start in the engineering bay, take out power to all of their security systems, and then profit.
Doesn't that take
We
down
would want to
oxygen?
cause a significant amount of ruckus in the engineering bay, if that were the case. I do not know how many.
Oh, sorry, I was saying that as Matt.
Never mind.
Doesn't that take life support systems down?
Well, Matt, thinking about this, it seems like if we go to the engineering bay, there's a lot that we can do. We don't have to shut off
Can you
all the
point
power.
the engineering bay on the map, please? But then we also have to get all the way through that whole section
That's
up
a good
to
point.
the right side.
This is
Like-
all lounge robotics repairs, parts, robotics testing lab.
But
think
once they
That's where the flight's gonna happen, though, if we get jammed.
once they know that we're there though and shit's not working,
But that would draw everyone
That's-
to this part of the ship because the captain's up here, and if the power goes out, they're gonna have to go and fix the power.
but are you, Matt, concerned about that helps Mosaic Team 1, but Mosaic Team 5 kind of gets fucked because that's a funnel now.
right.
We're kind of gonna get fucked regardless because we are the vanguard.
No, not if we go in the special cargo
Depends
area.
what advantage we get too from shutting off the power too. Is it really worth it to shut off the power or fuck around with the security to just gain a couple, fights that we're gonna miss when we could just avoid the fights anyways?
So I like the engineering bay idea to a point. My point would be we would get engineers and not security and soldiers off of their backs. Which we would get numbers down, but maybe not the ones we want.
Well, we would get engineers and them to come, and then we would go out and start fucking things up while they don't have their security system and everything's in
So
disarray.
you would want us to like
Start there and then wreak our havoc from
the
there.
other concern is as an entry point, it is the most insulated.
Well, that was also part of what I was thinking, because it's like they are most likely not going to have interior facing weaponry. So if we came in from this area, then we would have to just kind of go behind
But,
where
like,
the thrust
It is going to split our forces because there's also this whole thing with, like, sure, we want the bounties and, like, we can have this whole conversation under the cover of bounties, but fucking the ship to the point where, like, people can't survive. There's a lot of people here that aren't bounties that we need to figure out what the fuck's going on with them. And we can only
Are
do
you
that.
saying this in character too?
No.
I don't.
Okay.
I'll say it telepathically.
I don't understand that, because like we're not going in and killing anyone in the engineering bay. We are just taking control of a vital part of the ship that gives us an upper hand in how we want to manipulate the next
But then we're
interaction.
stuck here.
We're not stuck there. Why are we...
Like, but all the
Might I offer a suggestion? When do you intend to board the ship?
You can see Javier turns and he says, "When the distraction has begun, we intend to enter directly into the command deck."
So there would be no chance of you, perhaps, turning off the lights in certain sections of the ship for us.
We could attempt to do so.
That would be helpful if we were to cause a greater distraction, as most would send their best engineers to deal with problems, as such, in a prison vessel.
They turn and they say,
Techno, do you think that you could do this?
and the android kind of, like, you could see there is the hourglass that just pops up and is
little
holographic like you
dots.
predicted. And a little bit of time passes, and then you just see thumbs up icon.
Nice.
This would save us from having to enter the engineering bay
Nice.
and dealing with potential casualties that are not on our radar and needing to split up.
They say, but to be clear, your plan is to just turn the lights off, or...
If the security systems could also go a little haywire, that would also be helpful, as we would not be in the line of laser cannon fire, as I assume that is part of their security protocols
You
when
can
dealing
see-
with prisoners.
As you're saying this, Techno stands up. You can see the sleek metal mask reflects the map, and they point, and their hand goes down on top of the cybernetics control center. And they point, and Rux speaks up at this, and he says,
Yeah, so a lot of ships like this, they have some automated security functions as well. If you want us to be able to deal with that, if that's really what you want us to be able to take out. I
Is
believe
there
it's
a
in
way
that
to do
area.
so?
And Echo like pointedly looks at Techno, the emoji bot.
robot alcove and launch control. It's
Okay.
right in the center of the ship.
So that
above
he
the
could take
engineering.
that out.
They would say,
Well, that would be the target. Whether or not we take it out, it is sort of far from our objective. That might be a good place for you to enter if you want to do that. You would be able to save typically about 20 automated combatants from entering the field.
That might be our best alternative,
So-
rather than entering the engineering bay, as security officers would also enjoy making sure their drones were safe.
But this staff area has also got a lot of engineering in it. What's the difference between engineering down here and engineering up here?
R&D, actual engineering.
No, this is like actual engineering.
There's multiple areas for engineering. You wouldn't put all of your vital systems in one place. There are duplicates of important things. And more importantly, the upper level engineering typically is reserved for the crew. We do employ elements of more forced labor on the bottom decks.
Because we could
Oh, that's good.
20-ton launch.
So intervening on a lower deck would mean that we would have low-value targets approaching that would not be able to assist. I do think that messing with some of the security systems is the best option.
Rux at this is going to say,
I want to be really clear about this. This is a Vescarium ship. No matter where you go, you will have a fight on your hands. Even the engineers are combat capable.
I did not say they were not. I just called them lower value targets. If we were to go to the lowest engineering deck, I would not employ my highest value engineer in such a space.
They nod and they say, of course, but these are Vesk.
So, and the reason we're not just going straight for the prison section is...
Distraction. And the prison section will most likely have automated defenses. They do not want a prisoner riot. A prisoner riot on an enclosed ship is the worst possible outcome. What better way to keep the prisoners docile than multiple sources of punishment? If we could eliminate one such source of punishment, as I'm sure you potentially experienced in our most recent mission, this would be helpful.
They look at you.
The facility, while abandoned, did have a number of automated defenses.
So, on your topic of the distraction itself, I have some ideas. There's some various ideas we can do with hollow grenades and smoke grenades, and we have a various grenade printer in this facility that we can take advantage of. Going beyond that, I'm sure there's some various distractions that we can take upon ourselves on the ground when we're on the ship.
Our Captain Shade is also a versatile hacker.
Echo. Where's Spice in relation to Echo?
She's. You
at the
see
center
Spice
table.
at the head of the table, and there's like probably 10 cigarette butts in front of her, and she's chain smoking at the end of the table.
The grenade printer's ready, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Echo, sleight of hand, just like flicks a pen cap at her.
But we have to balance Mosaic Team 5 being an effective distraction for Mosaic Team 1 and also still getting enough bounty to...
This is why I think it is best to go to the security systems and disable those first.
Wait, what did you want from Spice? I missed that.
I was stopping you from coughing when I said
Yeah.
that Shade was a good hacker.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And then she just kept
She's
calling.
throwing shade
kept
back.
coughing.
So we're talking about entering here, right? This is the door. Clear this hall, get to the robotics, and out
Yeah.
launch.
I mean,
Draw as much fire as potentially possible. Do it loud and aggressive.
Convinced.
You're not convinced?
You said this was going to be historic.
Correct.
The bounties are of little consequence to the mission.
We are additional. We are support.
I understand. The biggest objective, though, is providing enough distraction so that you may capture the true target of the captain, correct?
At this, Javier nods, and the human says,
This is correct. The captain's bounty alone is worth almost all of these combined.
It is why they are leaving the prisoners to us.
I'm getting a vibe that this is a trap because Socrates says they're catching all sorts of people and they've the Vesk have explicitly captured people that are important to us in various ways. Can I vibe check if Mosaic Team 1 is in on it? Are
yeah,
they...
make an insight check. It's motive check.
I don't think it's a trap, but I think there is almost always someone who's taking
Yeah.
advantage of what we're doing in this situation. We're
30?
causing something and someone's taking advantage of that.
19 plus 11 is
20,
Or sorry, dirty
30.
30.
30.
30.
You get the sense that this is not a trap for Mosaic Team 1. They're not
Yeah.
trying to trick you into coming any place. You think about the fact that there are people that are important to you, and that does resonate. There's something to that, perhaps. You're not sure what that might be. You haven't gathered the correct information. You don't have access to
I'm going to telepathy.
We don't have the clearance to know that yet.
I'm going to...
And they got this
It's
job
not-
from
more-
Peewee's boss, too.
Yeah, I don't care about Peepa's boss, though, but, I'm going to...
Let him finish this.
I imagine that you have drawn conclusions, and they may or may not be right, but you have not, as characters, come across information that would give you more information about that.
I'm going to telepathically say my vibe, which is that, it's a... Based on the conversation with Socrates, that
I don't trust Socrates, so I don't care.
I don't get this message.
You don't.
you do.
No,
No.
because he hasn't linked.
But then I do it to everyone else that there's a lot of important people
And Bubbles are just like,
and none of them have bounties. And Gibbs' heart is torn.
Okay. While this is happening, and as you seem to like have a little bit of a plan in the beginning part here, you're talking about this particular door, this particular path, taking at the security systems. Javier turns and looks over to you, Shade. And they say, "You are still the captain of this team, correct?
Yes.
A word, please." And they step outside and walk across to the other conference room.
I'll follow.
Okay. You enter into the space, they close the door, and they wave a hand over this panel, and the glass becomes frosted. And they turn and they say,
That is a nice feature.
You have a
interior
reputation
design
for
meters
working well. You are good at this. You take this seriously. And so I am entrusting you with something important. There is one more bounty for all of you to go after, but I do not trust every member of your team to be as impartial as you are.
they take a data slate out of their...
From
Giant
whose
slide.
backstory
Oh, God, this
is
is-
it gonna be? I can't
And they
see.
say-
I want to see it, but I can't read
I'm not
behind
gonna
that sheet.
You understand
I'm
the
not gonna lie.
sensitivity of this.
Yes.
There is a need to find this person. This should be your priority.
Understood. I do have some questions.
Yes.
What is the purpose of this bounty?
Of this one.
Yes.
This may prove our in to the carbon cartel.
Uh-oh.
And there are members there that will fetch a lot.
Understood.
Is that all?
Oh shit.
For now. Is there a way to maintain contact between our parties? Specifically you and I.
Of course.
And they go and they give you an encrypted channel to their communicator. You have direct access now to Javier.
He has digits, bitch.
How did
Shade scores tonight.
Shane just like holds up two middle fingers.
Yeah,
to the
above the frosted glass.
He'll say, how much do you know about yourself?
Uh-oh.
I'm learning more every day.
I think that by finding this individual, you will learn more as well. They are traveling companions of yours.
Companions.
A freedom merchant captain, they call themselves. Vlor-Az. They are a drow.
Is that the same name that I got before?
It is.
Thank you for that information.
They nod.
I will be in touch if I have any further questions. Be assured that I will work on this mission to my utmost ability.
They nod their head and they say, I'm glad that we could trust you. You have a bright future with this company.
And they turn and they open the door. The glass goes unfrosted. And they walk back across to all of you.
She's gonna wait in the other room and light up another cigarette and then head over a minute after.
No, just to Javier,
Oh, yeah.
dick face.
Got his number.
Well,
He comes back in.
the least important people of our parties are missing.
Yeah, go.
I would like to address something. Seeing as the GPF gets involved in fucking everything in this galaxy, and they have a history with Viscarium, how are they gonna get involved in this mission?
How would you like to figure that out?
I'm gonna ask So she looks over at, what was his name, Rooks?
Rux.
She goes,
Teddy Rux.
we're going into the Vescarium. Rex.
Rux.
She says his name on purpose, the wrong name. How can I trust you, seeing as you are,
Spice.
Kind of
Sorry, she's notoriously racist against men.
He looks at you and he says,
Spice.
"You've got something against men or something."
Obviously. I'm a woman. Look at me. I also have a problem with teaming up with a Vesk who's going up into the Vescarium.
You could see.
I'll say it, it's the
We
fucking
got back
elephant in the room.
No, not yet. His hands kind of go on his legs, and he just goes, "Well, that's just rude. Not all Vesk are the same. Not all Lashunta are the same.
No, prove it to me.
Some
How
Lashunta
can
are
I trust
nicer.
you?
Yeah, no, I've met nice Lashunta before. This isn't one of them.
I don't know if I can fucking trust you.
I assured Mosaic Team 1 that both teams would operate with the highest professionalism.
Okay.
He smiles, and
Cultural
you can see
sensitivity.
What?
big Vesk teeth, and he says to you, Echo, "It's okay. This is just something that runs in the family, I think."
What is that supposed to mean?
He just smiles
into
and says, "We have a mission to work on, Spice. Should
Okay.
focus on the task at hand."
Okay, Rex, what was your stance on the Vescarium War? I need to know to earn your trust.
Mission sensitive.
Make a diplomacy check.
Giz just like cringes inside and outside.
Javier and Shade come back.
No.
Let me know when I do.
I will.
I needed somebody to pick on, and I apologize that it was Rex. Rux.
Rux.
You got
Forgetting his
yourself
name.
mixed up.
I mean, that would be what she
Pick on
does.
Waldo. At least Waldo's picked
Pick
on
on me. I'm your
us, right?
ex-boyfriend. I'm the guy you're supposed to pick on.
She's uncontained and her rage knows no bounds.
I hate this. This is so many. So that's 20 plus 19, 39.
Okay.
Wait, plus 2,
41.
41.
Wow, it's the
'Cause
session of
she is-
40s.
Yeah.
So he looks at you, and at first he's a little bit offended, but he shakes his head and he says, "Well, if you must know, I served in the Vesk War.
On whose side?
Whose side do you think?"
The Vesk side.
He says, "Look, the Vescarium has gone astray. I'll be the first to admit that. We should be leading with honor. We should be leading with strength. Bombing civilians isn't what that's about."
Yeah, of course it's not. It was despicable what you've done. Terrible!
We all
I
have
cannot
shame.
believe what the Vescarium has done to our side.
He kind of narrows his eyes and he says, "What's he mean to your side?"
What your people have done to my family is despicable, and I don't know if I can ever forgive the Vescarium.
He kind of shrugs his shoulders and he says, "I'm not the Vescarium lady."
Okay, well, I'm gonna need you to fucking prove it.
Kind of stands up. He looks around at everybody. You can see Waldo's just like shaking his head no. And he says, "I'll be ready when the actual mission starts."
Echo's like, head is in hand.
He stands
This
up and makes his
cannot
way
have gone
out.
worse.
You go back into the room. No Vesk. You see the temperature slightly
I
higher.
see him leave.
No, I would say like that's a little bit after he leaves. You get back into the room.
Spice, you can't just yell at
I
Vesk.
don't trust him.
You don't have to trust him to work with him.
What?
You're working with an ex-boyfriend. How much do you trust Bubs?
With my life.
I'm right.
I'm just saying. Trust is a spectrum.
Bubs is gonna look
And
down.
I don't trust that Vesk. He served on the fucking Vesk
Spice.
side of the
That is
Vescarium
enough.
War.
From the inside of this big metal ball, you can see this human speaks up for the first time. And she says, "You really got to go a little easier on Rux. I mean, he had this whole idea that the Vesk was going to get remade in some new image, and then
his like favorite guy ever died a couple of weeks ago.
Who was it?
Some Vesk, I don't know, but they're not all the same. He really is okay.
Species are not monoliths. I thought you could know that by now.
I've never met a Vesk that I've liked.
I wonder if they could say the same about you.
Okay.
Regardless, the past is in the past, and we have a mission right now. Whether or not you like this person does not matter.
You know who I do like?
I do not care.
She looks. Well, I guess where is Bubble sitting?
Like
all
across
the
the table
same.
from you.
Well, no, because Spice was at the end. I guess she's still at the end.
Yeah.
I'm probably still, like, I probably just walked in to the
Oh, yeah.
conference
I
room.
haven't
and
actually
I'm
watched
just
Super
like,
awkward.
Well, so I
broke up
guess
with
what
you.
she does is she like first looks at Bubbles to like see if she's looking at her like out of the corner of her eye, and then she'll like sweep her eyes over to Javier and be like, Javier, what do you think the GPF's involvement is gonna be in this?
He smiles and he
And
says,
she's like flicking her hair annoyingly after, and like demeanor completely changed.
Hopefully, there should be none. That is part of keeping this a quiet operation.
And it is okay. I love the idea of thinking that this is gonna be a quiet operation, but I
This is
can't
why
help.
we will go in. We shall destroy these Dragon Scream escort fighters. The Vesk protocol is then to jump to the drift. An emergency jump. It will put them in a random place, but we can follow.
I think you and I should talk about this over dinner. What are you doing tonight?
they kind of look around at everybody, like, kind of unsure.
There's a
Are
mess
you
hall.
doing that?
There's a mess hall. Do you want to have mess hall food?
Oh, damn it, Gibbs.
He nods and says, I would be happy to join you all in the mess hall.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, I want to talk to Waldo.
You can see Waldo looks at you and says,
Well, respectfully, I'll be eating alone in my room.
Yes.
That's weird.
I just prefer a cleaner operation. It's a
I
bit dirty
squint.
here.
okay, you squint at him. No thing needed. He's keeping his hands a little bit withdrawn away from you.
Bubs
He
go on.
actively is, you're used to this. He's actively perceiving you as dirty.
I mean, like, he's not wrong.
Gibbs is
is
cleaned
cleaned
up.
up.
For Gibbs?
Gibbs is cleaned
looks
up!
very
Gibbs is
tiny.
cleaned up, asterisk.
But Bubs,
for
as you look
Gibbs.
at Waldo, the body language that he has is not alien to you. You see somebody who is very concerned with the environment. This crisp, clean demeanor, less because this is like what they like to look like, and more because there is a need for there to be cleanliness around them. And you can see they kind of stand up and they say,
And actually, with this, I'll be going.
they make their way off.
Oh fuck.
It's just Javier.
Yeah. I want to say to Javier, I just want to stare him up and down. What does he have for a weapon?
The only weapon that you can see, he kind of like
just like
has
one
his
pistol?
hands like that. Where there would be a pistol,
Yeah.
there's a silver flask
That's
hanging
what it
right
is.
there.
Okay.
You do see that there's a personal valet drone behind him, and that
Yeah.
does bear a sniper rifle.
Yeah. Okay. I figured that was his. That's quite a huge weapon you got there, Javier. You trying to say anything with that?
And the tiny
Yeah,
And Echo stands directly next to Bubbles.
The bigger
once
the
more.
He's doing for my girl. How can I not? You're killing me.
You're
he
broken up.
turns and he says,
It doesn't matter.
Echo's
the
like
moment.
fully stepped on Bubbles' foot.
This is my weapon of choice, but I am comfortable handling almost anything.
That hurt my ear for some reason. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm also loud.
No, I just think it's very nice. I think I'm a big weapon guy myself.
Would you like to see it?
Oh yeah, of course.
I'd like to see
And
it.
Bubs is like
over.
Bubs is
I'd
like
like
trying
to
to
see
like
it.
fake like kind of nice, like it was like a kind of like a joke,
A demonstration.
and kind of like what they're doing to them. You know, we're
Somewhere
kind
else.
of I'm trying to do it back.
he turns to you, Echo, and he says,
Oh, do not worry. I do not fire it. It will take out one of the wolves.
and he pulls out the kind of case and pops it open, and you can see this beautiful sniper rifle. This is something that is
Through the walls, really.
Walls,
Oh,
plural.
you
Oh,
like
this
snipers?
You literally just insulted his teammate.
I know. Well, that was.
Going
I mean,
all over the place.
yeah. I don't
Hate
yes.
this guy.
You can see
Fucking
this
love
is
this
a
guy.
sleek
We're playing
Nice
Fuck,
one.
Marry, Kill in real life.
It's a sleek black sniper rifle, but the way in which it's built really speaks to a Shuren build. And you can see the scope itself is like a compound eye, and so it has multiple lenses to it.
As the guy's like talking,
gold?
Bubs is gonna like also be pointing out things with the weapon.
Yeah.
And Bubs is like,
I like the trigger you got
kind of
there.
being like, I kind of like this guy actually.
Oh my god, you would flirt with the man.
No,
with
he
the
is
biggest
kind of
gun.
cool though.
Oh, you would. You did this with Bastion. Now
Picks
you're
it up,
doing
he
it
like
with
screws the
Javier.
barrel on, he like holds it, and he like puts part of the barrel in your hand, but he holds the bottom, and he's kind of like behind you a little bit now.
Honey,
Bubs is like being
We were gonna
nice.
go out to
He's,
dinner, not
he
you
like
guys.
thinks this guy's cool.
Yeah,
like he.
no, absolutely. He turns and he says,
You seem to be a very effective fighter yourself.
Oh, thank you. I try really hard to, like, focus each of my blows with the correct form and stance, and when I go, I extend myself with every single bit of strength I have.
He nods and he says, That is the best way.
Yeah, me too.
Of course.
and he kind of takes the sniper rifle back after showing you. He like disassembles it a little bit.
What does this have the guided condition by any chance? What kind of accessories do you have on this
Are you
bad
gonna
boy?
try to steal his
Beggar?
sniper?
Smiles, and as he's taking the barrel off, he says,
It is not guided. I have no need for such things. This is just a simple
You're a
Shiren
sharpshooter,
rifle.
aren't you?
It is
that
a
is
backup
all.
weapon, actually.
I
We
believe.
might wish to conclude the meeting. Not everyone is interested in sniper weapons.
I agree.
Yeah, it's
If we have no further things to discuss, I do have to discuss some matters with my team.
He nods and he says, Then we will give you the room. We have set up our own quarters in the engineering bay.
You are welcome to stay.
Well, actually, Socrates is here, and
There's a matter that I need to attend to with the crew back on our ship.
Dinner tonight, though, babe.
He
Don't
turns and he says, I will join all of you in the dining room.
We will meet you for dinner.
I will send the shuttle to the engineering bay for Techno to modify.
no. I can show you some of our weapons later too, if you want to come by the ship.
That will be
I
lovely.
can show you other things as well.
Let us let the man go, dear.
he kind of nods and says,
I would be happy to see anything that you have to show me.
he turns and he just, it's like,
he's diplomatic as fuck.
but he just goes and turns and leaves. The giant robotic creature with the human inside gets
Hi,
up and
Shreya.
follows, kind of turns and just like waves to you.
Dan, get off my man! Just kidding.
You are now left alone
just
with
friends.
Socrates in the
Okay.
conference room.
He hated him for a second, but then he's like, oh,
Yes.
So Socrates also has a plan that he wanted to talk about. Right, Socrates? Right?
Socrates turns and kind of looks and just says,
They've done a great deal more research than I thought they would have.
I thought you benefited from being here.
I did. Thank you, Gibbs. These plans are far more detailed than what I'd put together so far.
Do you need copies of them and time with them?
He nods.
What is your intention with the Vescan? I'm gonna stop you from giving him all this information because I don't trust Socrates.
He turns and he says, There are people of Gibbs who were taken.
Hoagie.
And others.
All of them, I think. I think it is not a direct partnership, maybe, but I do believe that the GPF indirectly influences somehow. I do not know how. I am still working on the pieces. My head is not as clear as it was before.
Is he medically okay?
make a medicine check.
Like, is his head not being clear? Like,
It sounds pretty medical.
Oh
Yes, get it.
So with the natural 20, you look at this individual. You're looking at somebody who has a concussion. There is probably a traumatic brain injury that occurred, and you look at this individual who already has hypercephaly, probably a good deal of pressure on the brain. It's making it hard for him to think. That's pretty natural. It's something that heals over time with rest.
Nothing I can do.
You certainly could, yeah.
Can I do that thing that I could do?
You certainly can. How much healing do you want to allot to this person?
You know what? I will spend 10 minutes of a conversation and give them... It's like 1 million. Hold on. I have to find it because I printed out new shit. But a bunch of healing. I'll give them... And I'll spend like 6 resolve points if I
They're
need to.
so healed that it reversed cell decay, and they are now a baby.
This is going to be some
Benjamin
logical
Button.
shit.
How do you believe that the GPF are involved? How were Hoagie and the rest taken?
The GPF came. They were the ones who took the Aclama scientists and the freshies and brought them somewhere else when it became clear that they could not take Rat King. And almost exactly a day later, the Vesk ships came. And they were in, they were out, they were surgical. And there is nothing that differentiates the Scab Rat block from the others. Aside from the Scab Rats, aside from their connection to Gibbs.
So, the Freshies and Aklama have left Petrus 4.
Yes. The Petrus system entirely, as I've heard.
When the Vesk came to raid, they only went after the Scab Rats.
As far as I know.
That's for free.
Okay.
This does seem to track a recent trend that I've been noticing. How much do you know about our most recent mission?
Not very much.
I had suspected that prior to our arrival, there was Vesk activity. This seems to be a recurring trend amongst many of the locations that we've discovered. The Vesk seem to be following on the trails of both USR and GPF factions.
No, and he says, what does that mean?
I have not discerned that myself. But I do believe that there is something happening between the USR and the GPF, and the Vesk are also involved, but not necessarily aligned.
Is there something in addition to personnel you wish us to retrieve from the Vesk ship?
He turns his head and he says, you all helped my people. Your people need help now too.
I know we talk a lot about focusing on the mission. But
This is the mission.
they don't have bounties. I know they're not worth anything to you, and I know you're going to value them very, very low, but...
The bounties are inconsequential. I already said that. The true
Our
bounty
objective
is something else.
Is to cause a distraction. If the distraction involves removing prisoners, it does not matter.
That's all I want.
I'm with you, Gibbs. If Miles is on that ship, I need to find him.
I do not intend to turn over 899 for bounty.
There's a lot of people on this ship, but they feel very personally selected. It's uncanny.
I
And-
agree.
The director keeps talking like we're special or we're part of something, but
We should return to our ship. If we find any more information, we will share it with you, Socrates. We will try to find the rest of the crew.
He turns and he looks at you, Gibbs, and he says, thank you. Whatever you've done has helped. I'm stickier now, but I feel better.
Alright. Do you need more? I squint. Does it need more?
No.
Alright.
Oh,
Top you off.
Socrates. If you are approached by any member of Mosaic Team 1 and they inquire as to Gibbs' healing, I have told them it is cultural. If you wouldn't mind agreeing with this statement,
It's cultural. What does that mean?
it would be appreciated.
What does that
He
mean?
nods and he says, I won't pretend to understand this, but I will.
I don't understand it.
I will explain later.
Should I just go heal somebody?
No.
Bubs, would you slap someone so I could heal them at some point?
This was not the intent.
I
You
can
are misunderstanding the
slap
situation.
myself.
That would be helpful later. I'll
We
tell
need
you
to
over
return
dinner.
to the ship. I have important issues to discuss with all of you.
Yes, Captain.
I give Socrates all the copies of all the things from my brain and then distill a memory for him and give that to him too.
In return, Socrates will say, I did notice one of them mentioned a dragon scream fighter.
Multiple,
Yeah.
it seems.
They take a data slate and they pass it over to you. This is what they look like.
Is Socrates just one of the Isoki from Akaton?
Yeah.
So,
The Isoki from Akaton.
Yeah.
right.
Well, one of the three leaders,
Socrates
the
and
one who we
Raikkonen.
interact
Only
with the
two.
most because he was the brains. Then there was the guy.
But then
who's
he
kinda
moved
the
to Peaches 4,
explosives,
right?
And was helping me and
Right.
then yeah.
Yeah.
Socrates, any word of Akaton? You were one of the elders there. Are you guys still in touch with the other one?
He nods and he says, thanks to you, things are much better on Akaton. The GPF have almost entirely withdrawn.
Fuck yes. That's fucking great.
We managed to cost them enough money that it did not outweigh the benefits of staying.
I am so relieved.
We cost people money and it's a good thing.
Finally, oh my god, I love that. This is amazing.
That certainly would have created a power vacuum. Do you know anything about the current situation?
At current, it seems that a local government holds.
Fuck
A
yes.
number of individuals have stepped up. The Shunta, Kinkashi,
Yes.
has taken a role in that as well. More interestingly, many of the elements that were involved with the GPF were transferred to a new posting in the Aura system.
Wait,
Oh
Horus
fuck.
Bay?
Wait, what?
Yes, the same one that Aura's Bay is within.
But
so did the junk cloud. The Rentropy junk cloud also moved to Aura's Bay.
Yes, they seem to be setting up a good presence there.
But before it was just in Petrus 4.
Right, but then we found out that they were spreading, and once I heard that you guys were under gunfire, the junk cloud moved. The ring around Petrus 4 expanded.
Yeah.
But Hultek said something that Rentropy was funded or sponsored by GPF. That's why I asked you if the GPF liked recycling.
oh shit, I don't know anything about that actually.
Socrates just said he thinks that as well.
Yeah, so we've had like multiple.
Wait, that's bad.
yeah.
Yes.
We knew this from
Fuel
when we
tax.
were on. No, when we
You
were on
suspected
Aura's
it for
Bay.
sure.
Yeah.
But then Hultek's was like,
Yeah.
What I'm nervous about is that
Madras
I
had
have a
left on a
darling
GPF
friend
ship.
in hiding on RS Bay that is an ex-GPF. And I'm nervous about her safety. So if you get any word of an ex-GPF woman in trouble on RS Bay, fucking tell me.
Perhaps it
Socrates
would
has
be
met
easier
Mari and Meeg.
if you just.
Okay, we
called
can name
Mari.
drop now. I guess. All right, who's dropping personal information now? Echo.
Socrates
Socrates was
has
there.
literally met these people.
Oh, right.
Socrates will nod and will say, I can look into how your friends are doing.
I'm just nervous that if Meeg, this is such a side project, but if Meeg is in RS Bay and the GPF are moving into RS Bay, she's gonna be in trouble.
well, that's more like environmental hazards.
Okay,
I think it'll be okay.
okay.
But
Well-
Can be a priority after this one.
And now we got
actual hazards.
babies to save.
But ship time?
Yeah, the ship.
I've been
Make your way
tuning
back
up the
over to
food
the ship.
maker.
No problem. You make your way back to the ship. You go up
Thank you,
the
Socrates.
lift.
Goodbye.
You get back onto the Directive Zero. Socrates makes their way back to their war room to continue.
Yeah, I
working
give them
on their ship.
everything I physically have,
They take
and they
the
already
crowns.
took all my money.
Okay.
Because remember, I sent them 3,000 credits.
You did, yeah.
So I have no money, but they have money now.
There you go. So
I
they
did
have money.
note that you had scheduled a team meeting, but as the update seemed to have taken priority, I took the liberty of scheduling the team debrief in its place. I assume now is a good time for the team meeting.
No, but this is information that you all need to have now. I apologize in advance for not telling you sooner. However, it would have been volatile.
What happened?
Oh, fuck.
I'm gonna present the log of the last guests from
Oh my god.
Assemblage 12.
Oh my god. I don't even know how this place is gonna react to this.
Echo's already seen it, right?
Yeah, you already know. That's why I was gonna reveal it when you were on upgrade mode, because I was like, oh,
Wait,
Echo
can
already
we go
knows
over
this. So.
who is on the list again?
I can tell
Magnificent
you
Seven.
exactly who. Hold on. It's we got here fucking.
Ashley,
I gotta go back to the part that
Julian,
says,
Yeah.
"Tell everyone as soon as
Miles.
we're safe."
Yeah,
Um,
William
no,
the
it's
Pleaser.
Stop! I got it.
Oh,
Okay. I beep and log date comes up 12/31/2247.
Which was how many days ago?
How many years ago?
Years.
This was
So this was
multiple
years
years
ago?
ago.
3 years and change.
That was the last
3
people
years
went to
ago.
the assemblage.
The last people before it was shut down.
This was New Year's Eve in 2247.
Yeah.
It's 2252, 2250.
2050.
Okay, so this was years ago, New Year's Eve. So somebody's having a party.
And then it has logs of the most recent swipes. There are 7, all at
It's only 7 people. There's not
7
more.
swipes. So 7 people tapped their cards to access to get in.
Okay.
7, all at 10:12 a.m. And the list of the names is Annie Lowe - pilot, Quardaru, Zin, plant leader, Mal Dross, scientist, Miles Smith, guest, William, the pleaser,
All capital.
all
Yeah,
capitals.
yes, thank you.
Ashley Williams, guest, Julian,
Yep.
guest. And that list is being projected from the exocortex.
Maldras. Miles.
This is the last log from the Assemblage 12
Unarmed
facility.
strike against spy, whatever shade.
Against
Against myself.
I block.
Okay, that's fine because she's emotional. How could you not tell us?
what? Why
Do
won't
you
you?
think that finding this information out in the middle of a malfunctioning nuclear reactor would have been the best time?
I think withholding information from your fucking team workers is a sin.
It's not withholding information.
That is literally what you did. For hours, for days, Shade. You withheld it. How could you?
I did it to keep you safe.
That's so selfish of you. How could you?
Sometimes people have to hold information from people because they don't know how they're gonna react.
Wouldn't you want to know where Miles fucking is? Or was?
I would like to comment on volatility, if I may.
No. I'm still mad. I'm sorry, Echo. How could you not? Tell me. This is Julian we're talking about. You
Your
understand?
response right now is exactly why I did not tell you. When I tell you information, you get emotional and you get distracted.
That's my whole thing. I'm not gonna hide my emotions like you do. I
And
don't
you will
repress
get us
anything.
killed as a result. When you get emotional, you think irrationally and you do
I
hasty
think it's the
things.
most rational response to bad news.
I'm not surprised by that.
Okay? I'm pissed that you didn't tell me.
That's fine. I've told you now, and there's nothing else that I can do. You can remain pissed, or you can do something about the information that I've given you.
I'm gonna try to punch Shade again, and it's okay if you block it. That's what I'm gonna do about it. Fuck you, Shade. And she'll stomp off.
That went better than expected.
She's gonna pull out a cigarette.
Such a sick thing to say.
You storm off. Where are you going, Spice?
Are we on the ship?
Yeah.
I guess I'll go to my armory and pallet.
Okay. You go to your armory and pout. Doesn't smell great. It's starting to get kind of stinky in there again.
I feel like she doesn't even notice because she's gross.
Sure.
I do apologize for not telling you sooner.
No, this is important. This
is a clear indication that all of the people on this list are directly involved in whatever is happening.
And apparently, I am still property.
and this Ashley Williams, is this the same Ashley from that video we saw on the Leon Bridges?
That is what I can assume.
Wait, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, what?
I was, but Spice isn't there.
No.
Spice had just recently looked up TJ's bounty board.
Oh,
And Spice had recently just looked up the rankings. And you probably would have seen
Ashley Williams.
there's an individual
love that
named
name.
Ashley Williams.
Biggest rubber name.
Who is located slightly higher than Mosaic Team 1. Ashley Williams, the River Gambler is her entry within TJ's bounty list.
Cool name.
And she is listed as 0119, tied with, quote, lightning, unquote, Kilo Science, which is probably a company.
Keynote Science?
Kilo, K.I.L.O. Science. It is an individual who is very highly ranked as a bounty hunter.
And she's number 1, right?
She
Number
is, like,
119.
Yeah, so she's ranked 8th in the list right now.
Just house cleaning stuff. Only Spice knows this?
Spice had just looked at the
Yeah,
list
she looked at,
recently.
but she also shared
It's
it.
also-
like,
Okay,
it's
so
not like,
did you? Okay.
It's
Yeah.
also, it's TJ's bounty
it's like
board,
she
so
was
it's-
looking it up.
It's common knowledge.
What was
Yeah.
her first name? It starts with a G.
Ketlin Orilla Van. Oh, you mean for...
From Shade's List.
Here, I just went back.
Qui-Gon Zinn.
No.
It's
Here,
not Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon
just
Jinn
send
is
it to
not on
Yeah.
the list.
It's
Qui-Gon Jinn is a beast in this game.
Annie Low
Annie
pilot.
Low.
Sorry,
Annie
what's
Low.
the G one?
The G1.
It's he doesn't matter. He's just
Wardaru Zinn.
he was the
is
plant
yeah,
manager.
that's who I have. Is
He was
The
Qui-Gon.
one
plant
whose
manager.
That's
quarters you
Qui-Gon
went
Zinn for
into.
me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's
We
also
had the good soup.
Good soup.
This information is very important because this is the first link of many people involved in each of our experiences
Our complex and braided fates.
working together.
I agree that
This is indication of a plan that has been happening for at least 3 years.
Director.
I agree.
Yes, Spice.
Oh, shit.
I
Go ahead.
I agree with what you're saying. It seems just like Gibbs just added a twisted braid of fate, but don't you guys remember that night on El Paso Station? I mean, you weren't there, Echo, but
No.
we just happened perchance on the director's ship, and all of a sudden, a couple months later, the director's telling us that we're all here for a reason, a fate. And here again, there's more fate. All this is happening. But that night,
This is not fate. This is a concerted effort by a group of people who are doing something that multiple organizations are involved in, but do not know. The USR, the GPF are all involved, but it seems as if there is a small cabal of folks who are pulling the strings.
But don't you feel like the Vesk ship is...
This is likely playing into the same overarching plot.
They know we're gonna go there. They took everyone that I care about. Everyone that I didn't abandon for a very long time, plus Miles, plus all of Echo's batch, or
Which is all
most
the
of
more
it.
reason why we have to go on this mission if we want any answers and if we want to save your family.
I don't doubt it, but to use your phrase, we gotta be cautious.
Oh, not you two. God.
True.
no,
It's less of a trap if you are aware of the trap.
Do you think that they know that we know that it's a trap?
I mean,
I don't think it matters much.
we've been questioning all these things that have been happening. Do you remember when we talked to Lowe's Lashwin? You called her and then you talked to her on the phone as well. she was saying in the in-skull system that there was some kind of bounty that she was going after. I think his name was Sugar Ray Monroe, and it was weird. For some reason, these automated defense systems came on when they shouldn't have. At just the Starlight Iron Factory. And also, if you think about, what about William X. Black Taco? What about that sniper rifle, that shot that killed him when he was talking about all that Jacinto stuff? All these coincidences seem kind of just...
I believe that there are multiple people within this group operating under the guise of USR and GPF diplomatic relations. However, clearly Dr. Maldross, Jade Brunei, Spice's mother, Miles, William the Pleaser are all in communication and involved with one another.
It is also safe to assume that William the Pleaser has a vast Echo Unit network. I cannot be the only one who was in his employ if he has property at Pleiades Rock facilities. And as stated to Gibbs, Bubbles, and Spice earlier, this cannot be the only echolocator.
I need to speak with Spice.
Alone.
Yes,
Good luck.
thank you.
Are you gonna go speak with Spice?
In a second.
Here, I put peanut butter in the coffee now. It's really good. You should try some.
Before we go, I do want to say...
It's like extra calories, but you drink them.
Just like an oil slick on the top.
Before you go to Chuck Dish Spice, I want to say...
The one thing that I think that's linking all of this, though, is the mining. Have you guys realized that numerous missions that we have gone on, there's always some sort of incident with Sigasilia when we went onto R314 planet to get those drow ships. Did you guys notice how just coincidentally it happened to do with mining? The same thing that we had on Perdita with the mining there.
Do you think it's because there's plenty of abandoned mine shafts to put a hazard worth rescuing in?
I
Cindy?
believe that they are going after the resources within the mines. They may have uncovered something that should not have been uncovered.
I think there's a reversal going on. Look at how the Zen Crawler was abandoned. The USR did not want it at all. It went over to criminals. But what was the Zen Crawler? It was a mining station. And now all of a sudden they want it back? What is the connection here?
Well, wartime resources, right?
That's what we hear constantly, and that's what I said to General Woe when we were in the office. But I don't think it's that anymore. Something's out there, and I don't know what it is, but it's changing things. And we're on a whole new playing field.
You notice at this point, for a long time, since one of you, prior to Spice, had mentioned the director's name, there's just been a blue light on in this room.
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, because he's
Always
listening.
listening.
He's always... Yeah, as always. Except in the med bay.
Except in the
That's
med
true.
bay.
In the med bay.
You've muted the
I've
med
muted
bay.
the med bay.
It's
But-
a safe space.
You,
It's fair to gauge.
in that moment, you can hear the director say, oh, I lost my train of thought with all that now.
I was talking about the Zen Crawler, and it's all about mining.
Oh, correct.
Yeah.
The director says, in a sense, it is about resources. You are right. You are not all here by chance. You are all here for a reason.
But are you antagonistic to that reason? Because, like, some of the things that are binding us together are pretty now horrific. It's hard to trust you sometimes. Because you know more.
I do. What would you want to know, Gibbs? Do you want to know why you're here?
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about what is in your bottle?
Nothing much. I found it in a junkyard, and you know, sometimes when you're looking down the base of power, it's not really worth asking why.
If I may speak, we know that a solution in your bottle is a similar solution found in the slums in Aphrodite and Mars.
Correct. It is known as Gaia's mutagen. It is the reason I exist. It is the reason you exist.
That's the same mutagen that was in your files.
I know. I would never forget that name.
They turn and they say, Gibbs, there is no power in that bottle that you found. There was simply a chemical. They turn and they say, but this chemical is vastly powerful. It has capabilities to do great things. It is a resource that could cause an end to all resource wars, if it was handled appropriately. There are different people who have different visions for what this might mean.
Who are the people that you work for?
There's like a pretty long pause. And after a lengthy amount of time, they say, names would not mean anything to you. However, there was a time
I know who it is, please.
when I was not called the director. I was simply a directive. Mosaic is not simply a company. Mosaic is an idea. But one time, Mosaic was me. I am the Maintenance of Service Artificial Intelligence Code. And I was created by the Terran Preservation Initiative in a place called Sweden a long time ago.
What was your directive?
They blink that kind of yellow light just a couple of times. And give me 1 second here, I want to get it right. My initial directive was to preserve humanity and other species of the planet called Earth. Over time, this directive has had to evolve. Humanity is a destructive species. If their existence is threatened, all existence is threatened. There is a war that is brewing. This war is about resources. There may be an option to end it before it begins.
What would that look like?
The light kind of shifts towards like the nearest sound source, and so it shifts over to you, Gibbs, and they say, it would look like progressing Gaia's mutagen to a form that would allow active terraforming. This would not take years. This would not take months. This is a process that could happen in weeks. Humanity will not need a war of expansion if they can fix what they have already destroyed.
So Gaia's mutagen is to revitalize Earth.
That was why it was created. But it has been misused.
Is Bubbles an example of that misuse, or?
You are all products of this misuse,
Even Spice?
especially Spice.
So we all have a little bit of Gaia's in us?
Little small guys.
Sorry. It was not a joke when I said it, but...
It is not in a matter of having the mutagen within you. The mutagen's existence has caused each of you to be, albeit indirectly.
I am a result of a desire for weaponry and power. Shade is a similar result. I can only imagine that one would abduct children and inject them with mutagen to create similar soldiers for power. When reading off those names, are all of those humans?
Which ones?
No.
Julian's a fox.
Julian's a
Julian's a
guest.
Kitsune.
Julian's is
The
a
others,
guest.
though, no.
Of the named ones.
I can tell you.
So Korzar.
We don't know about the Korzar and the other one. I don't know. I didn't write that down.
Kordaru Zin doesn't sound like a human name.
Okay.
Outside of that, the other ones could all be human or potentially Lashunta. Annie Lowe also is not strictly a human name. But from that information, from what you have available to you, most of them are human.
Because we know Maldross is, William the Pleaser.
I cannot pretend to understand the motives of the 7 who were at Assemblage 12 3 years ago. But I can assume that it has to do with the mutagen and its use.
Yes.
Whether or not their usage aligns with Directive 0 is another thing entirely.
How much Gaia is needed to stop the war that's upcoming?
A tremendous amount.
Is there an effort to gather it in a way that we can see? Is there a way we can stop this?
Bubbles. I have been processing this task for 137 Terran years. I have collected the mutagen. You have heard of Aphrodite's sprawl.
Yeah, of course. Maldross told me the words and I would never forget them.
It is a collection pool.
But
Does Maldross have control over this sprawl?
He knows of it. I
He
remember.
knows of it. Are these 7 part of your plan?
No. Their meanings are at odds with our initiative.
That is good to hear. I do not like them.
There's no response to that.
Well, now we have some understanding of why all of these people are actively working against us in a way that feels very personal to all of you.
And you.
I do not know enough yet about myself. I only know a name. Perhaps this Ashley Williams will be able to answer some questions.
Okay.
But you don't think the Vest ship is just another effort to collect resources, and maybe those resources are us?
Most assuredly, it is. But again, what is the alternative? We leave all of those people there to die or live in service to the Vesk and forsake a mission for Mosaic. None of these seem like viable options to me. Do you believe these are viable options?
No, but
Then we don't have much of a choice if we are to achieve our objectives. We must go.
So it's decided then.
At this, the director says, "Perhaps you do not understand. Your objectives are Mosaic's objectives. Mosaic LLC is just a name. I am Mosaic.
maintenance of service artificial intelligence code.
Wait, where have we heard that before?
We literally just heard it
Oh,
Echo went through
I
the
wasn't
ship.
here.
Me.
Shit, sorry.
while you were upstairs.
My bad.
Fuck, what was I gonna say?
So, director, you once asked for a star sapphire? Sapphire?
Yes, that is one of the components needed for refining a vast quantity.
Is Gaia's mutagen also one of those?
That is the primary quantity.
Damn.
Do I have enough?
No, Gibbs. But I do.
we will need to gain control of the sprawl, and also gain access to multiple Siren Sapphires.
It's gonna be hard. The biomancers are pretty active there in the sprawl.
For now, we need to focus on the Vescarium.
Mosaic Team 2 has been dispatched to Mars. They have been assigned to hunt for Chismodo, another bounty that was offered to you. However, the real reason they have been assigned this bounty is to lay the groundwork for a later mission.
Well then, it is best that we get some sleep and have discussions with some of the more volatile elements.
Before I go speak with Spice, I do have some things for each of you. In order to be more prepared for our upcoming missions, I think it's best. I have been crafting for you. And I'm gonna go and bring out the thing.
I just write him a poem.
That's super funny.
As an aside, I do not believe that shade is also either made of aluminum.
Only like 1.3%. It's like
That's
just a
pretty-
couple of
1.3?
well, because
Zinc is
aluminum,
more
it
accurate.
it's great for heat conductivity.
Continue.
But anyway,
So, Shade,
Gifts.
you go back into the engineering bay, you come back, you are able to give to Gibbs this, what some of you had seen as this really complex looking crystalline, almost magical structure.
I had a flavor for it.
Oh, please, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, it's like, you know those like heavy duty caps for like bottles that are kind of like
Oh, yeah.
So basically, like, it's this thing that goes onto the top of your bottle, and it's like seems somewhat protective because it's this like metal like cover cap thing, but there's like you can tell there's like technology inside of it, and then you put it on top, and then the rest is just like the same stuff that happens.
So this is a crystalline codex Mark III.
Bottle koozie.
There is a way in which you get the sense that this is like very much magically inclined technology that is designed to store spells after a fashion. It's very cool. It fits the bottle perfectly. It's really designed to fit the big bottle. You turn over to Bubbles,
Oh.
and for Bubbles, you had a plan.
Yeah.
Is there something else that you made for them?
What was I gonna do for you? I forgot. Oh, yeah, I wanna I'll save that for after.
Okay.
I'm gonna say to Gibbs as I'm giving this should help with the more complex scientific aspects of your bottle.
You crafted magic?
It is technology. However, it is able to analyze your magical capabilities in a way that provides hopefully more information that will help you.
Gibbs is just gonna like ignore the gift and just like hug you around like the hips, cause like she's kind of short. Just be like, thank you. It's really cool and it's shiny and it fits the bottom perfectly, and none of that rhymed. Okay.
Pat, pat.
Yeah.
I am sticky.
Very sticky.
I'm gonna give Echo the multiple not cores, but the one that I transferred
Sure.
the echolocator onto.
So Shade gives you the echolocator loaded onto this quantum computer. It is small, it fits in your hand, almost like a grenade, but made out of crystal, and you can see the data just kind of shifting through the various crystal structures.
I will not stop until we find your family.
Thank you.
And then I'm gonna go to Bubs and be like, motherfucker, I was gonna make you armor because you asked me to, and I was gonna fucking do it, and then you went and bought some, so fuck you.
Nice.
I'm gonna go to Bubs and say,
I'm ready. Go on.
He just turned.
I have not been able to yet, but I have been working on some ideas to help Cindy be able to function in a more capable way, rather than being confined to the room.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Captain.
It will take some time.
I know.
I need to go speak with Spice now.
Okay.
Not quick end the session.
You make your way over, you make your way to the lift, you take it up. Or no, sorry, you're in the ship already. You can just walk across the hall. You go over to the armory.
Thanks for joining
Smells
us on
horrible.
Mosaic Team 5. This was Starfinder. See you
Knock.
next week.
Knock.
Ah, fuck.
Knock.
Spice, from inside the armory, you hear the echoes of this knock, and you can tell from the measured rhythm that this is Shade. Are you gonna open it?
No, of course not. When would Spice ever open the fucking door when she's pouting? Literally
So
never.
you go through the normal routine, you knock a couple times, you're
She said,
ignored.
go away.
You
Spice
know
yells
that
at
I
you.
have access regardless. This is a courtesy.
Well, then why do we even fucking knock, Shade?
Because that's show business. You do it. You do it 3 times, then you just force access like usual. Literally every single time you do this interaction, same thing. The door opens, the smell hits you. It's not great.
Yeah.
Spice is in there, still wearing very much formal wear, but just like slightly more of like a kind of sloppy look. And as Shade approaches, because it is 10:06,
Yay!
this is what we're going to end for the
Good, I have
We'll
a whole week to prep this now.
You have 2 weeks because we are off next week, 24th and 25th. As As So we're going to be doing that on Friday and Saturday, but
Again, Matt's gonna be missing a session for a wedding.
I know.
God,
You know what's so funny? So I went back for D&D to like look at old campaign 1 sessions for this week because I was preparing for things, and there was literally a session that I went back to look at, the first one that I randomly chose to see if it was the right one.
I wasn't there
And
for
at
a
the
wedding.
very beginning, it's me just going, Matt's not here. I think maybe he's gone for a wedding or something. I have like my old beard. It's like 2019.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. Same.
Oh, Oklahoma wedding.
Yeah. But anyways, we're not going to be here next week because Ari's getting married. And so but on the 24th and 25th, you can absolutely catch the like amazing 2-part Humblewood game that Hannah ran for us called Heart of Daco. It is a fantastic, yeah, I know. I was proud of myself. I like wrote note cards about it. But it's going to be amazing. It's on YouTube at Elbron RPG. But please, thank you for sticking with us for the session. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Please stay safe, and we'll see you then.
See you, space ex-boyfriend. That's hopefully Javier. Maybe someday. We'll see.
I think
No, he's my
probably could have-
boyfriend.
Bye.